another glorious day, my tea sippers, and you know what time it is. I hope you have all of your comforts together because it's time to dish tea. And you dish it, darling. With big meat.
Can't wait, just do it, baby. Just do it, baby. Just do it, baby. Just do it, baby.
Darling. And hello. Hello, darlings. Good evening. How are you? How's everything in your worlds? My tea sippers, my crumpet dunkers, my tea brewers, my pot stirrers, and my tea leaf readers. It's another glorious day, my darlings. And I know you have all of your crumpets together because, darlings, it's time to dish tea. And you are dishing tea, darlings, with Big Meats. What's going on? Well, darlings, listen, today was veg out day for me, right? It was. I was grounded, basically. Okay. I was grounded because you guys know that Miss Mavis, honey, she's having surgery, child. Miss Mavis is having surgery, and she's at the doctor's, baby. And yeah, you know, I told y'all the car was running hot last Saturday, and she ran hot on me. I had to bring her home. Found out that it was the radiator. Okay, I had busted the radiator, cracked the radiator, and I'm like, okay, fine. So we did all that. Got some, I did had a major tune-up done and this, that, and the other. So, you know, we had got some things done. So that was cute. Okay. That was a $525 job. Okay. Because I had to buy the radiator, which was $150. And then the labor to put all that together and do the tune-up and carry on, that was $525. Praise the Lord that I had it to give. Okay. And to spend. Well, I got the car back and rode to work. Everything was fine until I got to Burger King yet again. And at the Burger King, I'm in the line, and I had started smoking a little bit, but just a little, right? It was just a little, not nothing. And I thought maybe something had spilled on the engine or something. I said, "Oh, okay, I'm fine." I saw that the thermostat was going up, and I said it went up a little bit, and I said, "Oh, okay, should be cool. Let me get in park. I'll be okay," because it just happened. Baby, she sat. It was time for me to go home. So now I done went home. I'm trying to get home at 7 o'clock in the morning. And this girl, honey, started smoking profusely like a damn train. And I'm like, oh, Lord, what is happening? So I looked at the thermostat, baby. She inching, got all the way up into the red. And I was like, damn it. Tell me we got to replace this damn thermostat, right? So, okay, fine. So I had to call a tow truck, get the car towed back to my mechanic, okay? So I'm like, all right, cute. Got him. I called him. I said, listen, I hate to wake you up, but baby, this girl is still smoking and blah, blah, blah. I can't drive it. All right, it's the thermostat. We got to change the thermostat, and probably he's going to look at this and look at that. All right. So I had it towed over there to him. Got it over there. I still needed to do my my air conditioner because I told y'all the air compressor had went out, right? And when I got it, you know, it's a secondhand car, so I bought it from someone. He told me that, and I'm like, okay, that's cute. So I'm like, well, it's summertime now, honey, and going down the street, baby, listen, I like to have the windows down because, you know, someone who uses their throat for a living, honey, and all of that, the air conditioner, honey, is murder on my throat, baby. So it's like, okay, no, we're not going to do all that. So, we roll the windows down. But, baby, this humidity has been kicking everybody's ass. So, when you ride down the street and you just getting slapped in the face with humidity, that ain't cool. So I'm like, okay, you know what? We got to get this air fixed. So I told him, go ahead on to do the air compressor because I was going to do it in a couple of weeks. I could stack a little coin, right? Stack a little coin, and we'll do it in a couple of weeks. I said, no, since he had to come back to you, go ahead on and get it out the way now, right? Cool. Well, Miss Mavis sat down there and she gave a hiccup for the guards because when he was taking the engine apart, because he said how he had to get to the compressor, he basically had to take my car apart. Okay. And so he did all that to find out that both of my CV axles, he said, oh my God. He said, the gunk and stuff that's on this, he said, they got to be replaced immediately. He said, because you end up having this thing break on you and the car would be done. Huh. So I said, okay, because he sent me pictures. I'm like, what the hell is this? He sent me pictures of all of that. And I'm like, oh my God. So then he said, I also needed a front left wheel bearing full assembly, right? So now I'm like, okay, what is all this? So I quickly went to AutoZone to do a little do-I-did so I could see how much at the most expensive price there so I could get my bearings together so I could find out what my coin gonna be. Well, the air compressor was $400 by itself. Okay. The damn CV axles were $102 a piece. So that's another goddamn $200. And then the wheel assembly thing, that was another $55. So I said, my God, today, So we're there, and I'm like, okay, cutesy. So he just sit down here. She's not gonna be ready until tomorrow evening. So I've been sitting up here. It's Memorial Day weekend. I got to go to work Monday. So I wasn't not that I was going to do a lot anyway, but I wasn't able to get out like I thought I would. And so, yeah, I was grounded. So I'll get the car. I'll get Miss Mavis back tomorrow, honey. At the tune of $985. Yeah, you heard me. $985. The blessing to all that is that I got the coin to pay for it. So she won't be held hostage until I got to hustle up on the coin to get it. So she won't be held hostage, praise the Lord. However, that's $985 damn dollars, child. That's rent. Okay. That's rent. Ooh. On repairs. So praise the Lord. Okay. But it's all good in the hood, baby. So y'all know y'all know I'm transparent with y'all and carrying on. So this is what my day has been. So I've been sitting up here. We're going to get into this movie today because I did get the Buck Breaking movie. It did not come DVD like I thought it was going to. Amazon got to refund me. Something had happened, but I got the download streaming thing. So we're going to talk about it later. Okay. So, yeah, we're going to get into this. But before we do anything, my co-host, I'm waiting on them to come up in here. I don't think Aunt Nikki's going to make it today, honey. She just had a horrible day. And she done stressed herself out, child. So I want her to sit down and to have a woosah moment. I know Big Red is dealing with family and carrying on because family done came into town again. We got the new baby and things. So he's got to deal with all of that. So I may be solo up in here today, but y'all know that's okay because I can handle it. But without any further ado, what we have today that we're going to kick the program off with, honey, I have a young woman, honey, who's about to come up in here with her little countrified self. Okay, this girl, she reminds me, just listen to her talk, honey. I just see her in the kitchen, honey. Just over a mean pot of greens, honey. I'm telling you, I just see her over and making a wicked old bucket of potato salad, child. Okay? And no, everybody could do some fried chicken, but she just, to me, she just feel the need, like she gonna bake a damn ham, just some ham and greens and a potato salad, honey, a wicked old nasty ass pot of macaroni and cheese, honey, just to stick to your ribs, honey. And then she just got to feel, honey, that she gonna throw on some beans somewhere, some beans and cornbread and some rice somewhere, okay, for old Mister to come on in, honey, and have a plate. She came into my consciousness, honey, because a friend to the show, Mr. Wendell B, honey, that's my brother, honey. Y'all know that's a smooth cat right there. Told him he wasn't straight, honey. He could get a little bit, but he's straight, and I let him be straight. Okay. But he came, he said, "Yo, Meech, what's up?" I said, "Hey, what's up, player?" He said, "Listen." He said, "Dude, I got this artist, he got this little smooth voice. He said, I got this artist, man. And I just need for you to just hear. Once you hear her, it's gonna speak for itself." And I said, "Well, okay." Well, I said, "Well, you know how I am now, player, because I like the real thing and this, that, and other." He said, "Oh, I know this." He said, "That's why I called you." So when I played the damn tune, honey, listen to me carefully. Listen to me real carefully, because I'm a player for y'all today. This sister here is coming into the world, and y'all know how when we first started getting those commercials for Lowry seasoned salt, okay, that there is what I think she's about to bring into this particular game. Okay, she's a rich sound. She has a unique sound, but I can tell some of her influences are Anita Baker and Gladys, because she's in them rich tones. Okay, those rich tones. Okay, um her level of artistry, honey, is it's sophisticated, and yet it's not necessarily necro ghetto, honey, but she let you know, honey, that she got a switchblade in her purse or up in the bosom, honey. Aha, okay, she let you know that. So, honey, I'm telling you, I'm hoping that I introduce to some and present to others this young lady, because I think we're finna to have a real good time. We're finna get into her, let her come on in here, dish her tea the way that she will, okay? So without any further ado, this is the one and only. Her name is Jason. I knew I was gonna fuck it up, honey, because I've been saying it all day. It's Jason A, honey. Hi.
Yes.
Hey, honey. What's going on,
Hello.
love?
Hi, love. How are you?
I am everything, and everything is me, honey. Hey.
Yes, love.
Okay. Now listen, honey, I'm going to get into this right away because I went to your Facebook page. Child, they
Yeah,
got you on the road already, girl.
I
They
am
done sit
on
out
it.
here and open up the world at Wendell and got y'all, baby. Kentucky,
Yes,
y'all,
honey.
you got to pay attention with what I tell you.
Look, they call. I am coming. I am coming
Okay.
with wings on.
I love it. I love it. So,
Thank
darling,
you.
let's get into the formalities first, because I'm gonna have some fun with you.
Let's get
Okay,
it.
I'm gonna have some fun with you, girl, because I just love you. Just so effervescent, and
Thank you.
we need that these days. And it's not a put on effervescent like I'm doing this for the camera.
Mhm.
This is just you being natural, and I love it.
Yes.
You know. So let's start with the obvious, honey. Let's start with tell everybody who Jay Zane is, and how you have come into this world of music.
Okay. Well, for you all who do not know who I am Jason A, all the way from the big state of Mississippi, honey. Yes, whoop whoop. Yes.
Quicker letter, honey.
I know, humpback, humpback.
Come back, right? Right.
But like all other singers, I started singing, from church. That's where we all started from. And once I found that love for music, I started, getting my feet wet and kind of trying to surround myself with other individuals that had the same love for music that I did.
Mhm.
But once I got my feet kind of wet and I started, making some, networking with some individuals, I was asked to sing background for the late great Marvin Sease. So I
Oh,
took that
not Mr.
opportunity.
Candy Liquor himself,
Mr.
child.
Candy Liquor
Whoa,
himself.
you better come on now. Yes.
Yeah, so I sang background for Marvin for about the last 2 years of his life.
Mhm.
So when he passed away, I decided to go ahead and pursue a career on my own. I've been doing background for a number of individuals, so I was like, okay, it's time for you to go ahead and do your thing, girl.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
She said, "Listen, honey. Okay, you know what? Okay, background is cute, baby,
yes,
but we done do wopped enough, honey. We done do wopped. Can I la up in here, honey?
right. Step out.
Okay. So now let's go into some of the richness of backgrounding and touring with Marvin because coming into I get tired of having to say this is a male dominated industry because the world is male dominated. We know that.
Yeah, yeah.
The thing is, and I ask this of all people who come in, turn the air on, baby. Um, when you are on the road and being a woman,
Hmm.
okay, particularly being around people who've been in the business, you kind of green, itching into that yellow light kind of thing.
Hmm.
But yeah, you got folks that have been around the world, and now the whole idea is they want to teach you something, but
Right.
then they want
Hmm.
to teach you something.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
how is it that you have been able to maintain your sense of integrity and your dignity? And fight off the perils of the
Hmm.
business while still maintaining your artistry.
Well, like I say, I'm a church girl, so I stay prayed up for one. I have to do that. Number one, but having the individuals that I have around me, my mom, she travels with me. My
Ooh.
brother, he travels with me. So I try to surround myself with individuals who still makes it feel like home. My mom taught me, don't take no wooden nickels. You know what's true and you know what's not true. So you kind of have to be a be kind of smart minded about the situations, and be kind of mindful about the situations. But to surround yourself with individuals who won't let you steer the wrong way, that
Mhm,
has
mhm,
been, a glue to my foundation.
mhm,
Marvin did talk to me about the business. It
mhm.
wasn't just singing background for him and going back to your hotel room. He sat down and he talked about the business, the ins and the outs, and that you're going to run across some good, you're going to run across some bad, but you just have to learn how to balance all of that. And if it's for
Mhm,
you, it's just for you.
mhm, mhm.
Hmm.
Now let's talk about let's see. A lot of folks don't understand that this is the business of show.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
and the talent is one thing. We have a lot of talented people,
Hmm.
you know, but oftentimes they succumb to the business of it.
Hmm.
So, what do you think are some of the most valuable lessons that you learned while up under, while forging your way? And it's a two part. I'm gonna start there, and then the second part of the question is, what are you learning
Hmm.
about the business as a solo artist now?
Hmm. Um, have your hands on everything.
Uh,
You make sure that you know what is going on no matter what, whether it's with lighting for a show, whether it's with sound for a show, whether it's with your music. I mean, anything, the production side, anything that goes on within your career, make sure that you are hands on with it.
mm-hmm,
And Wynn has taught me to um I'm learning a little bit more from him. He's teaching me the ins and the outs of the business, the paperwork of the
ooh,
business.
girl,
Not
yeah,
just getting behind and just behind a microphone and just singing. We're sitting down and we're talking about the business side, and that's what I love about him. He has been upfront with me from day one, so I appreciate that from him.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay. Dr. Marla, no, wrong. You got she done went all over the world with Marvin's, honey. Not Marvin Winans and not Marvin Sapp, but she was
Marvin Cease.
Cease, honey, the blues singer, Marvin Cease. Okay.
She said Marvin Sapp.
You know it's Sapp, Winans. Okay. Okay. No, she background with blues singer Marvin Cease.
Yes, yes.
Okay. So So, and understand now, let me ask you this: what is it? What did you find intimidating about that paperwork? Because see, when you start talking percentages and
Mhm,
royalties and
mhm,
and and
mhm,
and and publishing and
mhm.
girl, what when you started it, what was it that just when you just said, okay, stop the world because my eyes are spinning,
Yeah,
is it costing? Okay,
exactly. At first,
because you
I'm like,
start talking too fast.
exactly. Wait a minute. Hold on. Let me process this. Let me get this together.
Right? Yeah. Could you say
So
that in layman's terms, please? Okay.
right, right. But you just have to make sure that you pay attention. And like I say, and like you say, if I don't understand, I'm gonna ask you to break that down to me and to a point where, okay, all right,
Right.
I see what you're saying. But
Okay.
I've just been it's all new to me. So I
Yeah.
just kind of just take it as it is. And I'm like a sponge right now. I'm just kind of
Uh-huh.
soaking it all in.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Hmm.
Ooh. Ooh. You know what? I think that part of it is where it's delicious
Yes.
because it's new, it's fresh, it's exciting, it's a little
Mhm.
scary.
It
It's
is.
like, oh Lord, did I make the right decision? Because, child, okay, I got all this responsibility on me. Can I really put out like this?
Yeah.
They don't want to put out like that,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and things of that nature. Oh, okay, but it's fun, and
It's
it's like
fun.
it's like the dream.
It
You know,
is.
it's right. It's finally here, and
It
I'm
is
in it.
finally. Yes.
You know,
I prayed for a moment like this. I told my mom, I prayed that God would bless me with a job that I can work from home, do my music, and go back to school. And God has blessed me with everything that I have prayed for. So I'm just staying prayed up and just keep on down that path.
okay, okay, I
Hmm.
dig that. Okay,
Yes.
so now that we're here, and we have built a team, which is family, because
Mhm.
you can't get no better than family as the team.
Right.
Okay, now we are okay. Let's get into this studio.
Hmm.
How is it when you say I'm going to do this? Now it's about material and how to come about. Do you write your own material? What
Hmm.
was it about you trying to find a band? What is all of that for you?
Well, actually, before connecting with Win, I was doing music. I was doing casinos. I've sang background for Lacey, Chris Ivy. I've sung a background for a lot of individuals. So during that time, that's mostly what I was doing. Just singing, background. But I'm like, hey, it's got to be something a little bit more better than this.
Okay, okay,
Yeah. So something had to happen. So I
okay,
just decided to just step out and just go ahead and just do it.
okay, okay. So then you comes Wendell, honey.
Yes.
Oh, Wendell B.
Yes.
Let's explain how he came into your life and just upset the apple cart in the right way.
Yes, in the right way.
Okay.
El Dorado, Arkansas. I was on a show with him in Arkansas, and I did my set. I actually didn't know Win was in the building. I knew he was on the show, but I
Okay.
did not know he was in the building. But after I finished my performance, I went back and sat at my table and listened to his show. And he just kind of stopped his show in the middle, and he was like, "Where's that little old black girl that just got through singing? Where that little old
Ooh,
black girl at?" So he called me up front and he was like, "I am a firm believer in giving back to your upcoming artists, and I feel like this young lady has something. I want to take her under my wing." And
wow.
when he said that, we exchanged information, and a couple of months later, Win was giving me a call saying, "Hey, I need you in the studio on this such and such and such date." And I was there, and that's when "I'll Be Down in a Minute" was born.
Really?
Yes, yes. But when he's been writing my material.
Okay.
And I'm trying to add one more to this album. So we're kind
Uh-huh.
of poking at another individual to write something for me.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
fingers crossed we may have him on our team.
All right. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
good. Well, see, and that's good. Okay. It's like, I need you to do something now.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Okay. Now you now, since this is still new,
Hmm.
as a businesswoman
Hmm.
and understanding what it is that you want and
Hmm.
how to embrace your sound and how to embrace
Hmm.
you, do
Hmm.
you find that to be difficult, or do you find it easy at the moment to where you got folks who want to take and allow you to have your own voice?
They do. I have an input on
Good.
everything that has been written, arranging. I do have an input or a say so. So I'm always like, when? So what about this? Or what about that? And he was like, okay, Jay, we're gonna try that right there. So they do give me a chance to have my input on placement or how I want something to sound, or if I want to do a run here or not do a run there. So they have allowed me to have control of my album. So so that it is Jason A and not anyone else.
Say that,
Yeah.
This is a Jason A. Okay, right. Okay.
Yes,
So
yes.
now, how did you come up with this name, honey? Because number one, I like it. It's so exotic sounding.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little color. You got the little black girl thing, Jason name. Okay,
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
but how did you derive to this name?
Well, actually, my name is Jacqueline, so that's where the J comes from, and Sine is my middle name.
Well, get out of here.
Yeah. So hey, it's all me. Authentic.
Well, come on, mama. Okay, that's okay.
Authentic.
What you think? Okay. So yeah, so it's me. Yeah. Okay.
It's me.
Me. Okay. Cute.
Yes.
Now we talked about this song, and I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna really get into it after I play it.
Come
okay.
on with it.
Red, I see you here. I'm gonna bring you in after the song because I want you to hear the song first. Girl, wait a minute.
Come on.
Sister. Let me take my good earrings off.
Mm-hmm,
okay.
Mm-hmm. Sit them down on the dresser.
Right, okay. Okay. This here, I really believe that we're going to have the children, just really into this.
Yes.
It's a new anthem for women.
Yes.
Okay, it's a new anthem, and honey, I'm. Let me pause right there. We're gonna play it. Okay, now I got to share the screen because I was going to. I could. It was a little too long for me to add into the thing, so I got to share the screen.
Okay.
Okay, but that's all right though because we got it right here. Okay, I want y'all to get into this with me, honey. Miss Jason A, honey.
Hello. Yeah, who is this? Well, who you looking for? Girl, you got me messed up. But I'ma put him on the phone. Cause see, I'm a woman about mine. You heard me? But if he's yours, then come get him. Shorty's been calling my phone, playing with me, saying she's after my man and she gon' get me. I tighten up the scarf on my head, must be dreaming in bed. Did someone say they come to get me? This chick is playing with me. Wake up your girlfriend's on the phone, and she must be lit because she's the soul boss. Better get your girl because she messed up. Better get her ass from my door. By the time I hit the floor, I'm coming with you, girl. See, she messed up with her and she gotta understand. You see them Jordans, them Nikes, I'm just protecting my investment. That's right. Girl, from that cologne he wears, got my initials in his hair. From his head to his toes to his underwear. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not his fool, but you don't know when me and him did this, and I wasn't right, creeping at night. See, I left him alone, girl, I was so wrong. Another man's timepiece, he was fooling me, but when I finally saw the light, my man was there for me. But now the tables turned, there's fire in the burn. Oh, what a lesson I've learned. Girl, don't treat me. Girlfriend, little sister, put her house shoes on. Do you hear me? Ooh, yeah. See, I ain't been through too much with that man. You better listen. From that smell good cologne, he will keep my initials in his hair, from his head to his toes. I'll be down in a minute. Ooh, I'm ready, babe. See, love will put you through issues in his hair. From his head to his toes to his underwear.
Hey, Michelle, you must be tripping. It's the middle of the night. See, I was keeping my sleep when baby reached and turned on the light. Told you to never hit me. Ain't no coming up to my home. You starting to catch too many feelings, girl. You know, yeah, we had a good time. Kicked it all night. But I told you I had my baby. No catching feelings inside. Now you come knocking on my door. Screaming you won't go. But with her, you got the right one, baby.
I'll be down in a minute, and I'm coming with everything I got. I'ma knock it down. Ain't gon' be tripping with you about my man. Oh, I'm just protecting all of the years that I've been with that man. Ladies out there, now look, girl. I think you ought to gather your things, and get on home. Cause this man right here,
He already
He
home.
already is.
Yes.
I don't want to drag a sister out. But sometimes, a girl gotta do what a girl's gotta do. Ain't no tripping with you about my baby. Don't make me. Whatever you and him done, it's over, it's over. You done had your fun, and had your fun. So please, don't make me get up. Don't make me get out this bed.
Don't, girl. I'm going back to bed.
Come on. Yes, sir.
She said, "Don't make me get up out this bed.
Don't make me get up.
Get up out this goddamn bed, bitch." Okay,
We're gonna have some problems.
girl. Okay, okay. Let's break this down. Let's break this down. Let's break this down. Let's break this down. Let's break this all the way down.
Yes.
See, we've had woman to woman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And carrying on, Barbara, this is Shirley.
Oh.
We done have Fantasia and Jennifer Hudson say, okay, you know what? This is my man, honey. I know you call him boo, but blah, blah, blah. Okay. But this song right here done took it up a notch. And I'm going to tell you why. The reason why it did is because you say, okay, who is this and who you trying to talk to? Oh, okay. Well, you know, wait a minute, bitch. I'm going to put him on the phone. Huh? Because you think you're doing something. I'm going to put him on the phone. Okay?
Because I'm a woman about mine.
Because I'm a woman about mine. Because you called to talk to him. But I want you to catch the stunt hooker.
Yes.
Okay? Don't make me get up out this bed. Now, here's where it is. Because you sat down there and said to him, okay, now you got your bitches calling my goddamn house.
Come on.
Okay. Now, listen, we done talked about this. But this
They might wait for Avon.
She done must knocked her head up against something because she's strong enough to call my house. So you better handle it before I
do.
Because if I get up out this motherfucking bed, bitch, it's over. Okay? If I get up, I'll be down in a minute.
Honey.
And by the time I get there, she
better be gone.
Handled. It better be handled. Okay? Now, there's a part in the song that explains. Listen, I was her at one point. I know what that is, and I learned my lesson.
The hard way.
The tables have turned, and I'm on the other side of this motherfucking coin.
Yes.
I got to protect my investment.
Exactly.
So make this song so different than all the other ones. It's like, no, I've been there. I was there. So I know who she is because I was her. And I got to learn my lesson.
Exactly.
Okay?
But I'm going to let you know where I stand.
So I know where you are, but bitch, you got to know where I am. So yeah, I'm gonna let you talk to him because I'm a woman about mine. But bitch, if I got to get up out this bed,
you don't want to see me.
you don't want to see that. Girl, that's why I said
you don't want to see me.
I'll be there in a minute, bitch. You better take care of it, because I'll be there in a minute.
Yes, honey.
I'm telling you what I know. This song here is that's the jewel.
You know, it's true life. You know, stuff happens like this every day. You know, and we just decided to go ahead and just put it on paper. I mean, we hear about the beginning and the end, but you never hear about the middle.
How about that?
You know, so we decided to put it all together and make it make sense.
And that's the selling point in this song. When I heard that, I said, "Wait a minute, no, she like sister. I'm trying to tell you, girl. Listen, I'm not trying to get in your business like that, but I'm gonna get in your business because you got to understand. I was you at one point.
Exactly.
I was you. I had to learn my lesson. Now, girl, I finally got a man who did, but then he done fucked up. Okay.
Right.
Okay. I can take it because I had, hey, I got it. Okay. But girl, you done overstepped your boundaries now.
And we got to put you back in your place.
And we got to put you back in place. Because see, now you think you got power, bitch. No. The shoes, I bought the shoes. He got my initials in his head.
In his hair.
I'm going to tell you why that line is so motherfucking significant. That line is so significant because, damn it, he got to continue to do that. It ain't a tattoo, bitch. He got to go keep getting his hair cut every 2 goddamn weeks.
To make sure it stays in there.
Right. Right.
I've got to mark them.
Girl, right there. I'm like, when I heard, girl, ooh.
I got to mark them.
Red talk, because I can't. You know, oh, red talk. Ooh.
Boy, if you don't pull up your panties.
Oh.
Yeah, I just don't understand. Like I say, this is an everyday situation. You know, us women and men go through it all the time. You know, so hey, we got to put it out there.
It's okay. It's happening every day.
Every day.
And people want to hear about it, Jay.
I'm telling you, people want to hear about it, and I'm gonna let it be heard.
Hey. She said, "Wait a minute, wait a minute."
Hey, me. Can you tell me what I'm getting ready to do?
Are you in the studio?
You know it, baby. I'm finna go drop one.
Now, you know what? If I had Miss Mavis, and I'll come up there. Okay.
I'm gonna drop a ballot.
Oh, child. Listen. Miss Jason A. Hunter sat down here. I'm telling you, every time I hear this song, and I put it on my playlist in my phone.
Hey, I love that. Hey, the song is you know how I get. Matter of fact, let me introduce myself. I'm Big Red Fella, Atlanta High Radio. I'm also a blues artist. I got an album coming out this year.
Okay.
Definitely, and I would like to work with you because I'm feeling that.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I give credit where credit is due. I'm no hater.
I appreciate it so much. Thank y'all so
Where are you
much.
located?
I am in Mississippi.
Oh, crooked letter.
Yeah.
Humpback, honey.
Mississippi, Delta girl, country girl.
Oh, I ain't mad at you. Down by the bayou. All right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Where are you? You say in Atlanta?
I'm in the ATL, baby.
Okay, that's nowhere. Okay.
Yeah, you're right. I done rolled up through there. I know how to get through the back roads. I know about that.
Hey, yes, sir.
Okay. So, darling.
Yes.
When y'all put this song together, when Wendell introduced this song to you, and y'all got to working on it, girl, please give me the insides, because I could basically hear him. Because like how he introduced the song to me, he was like, dude, this girl has got soul. Oh, he said, Meeks, this girl is just soul down. But I could hear him in that studio with you.
Yes.
Okay. So give me what that creative process.
Before you answer, sweetheart, it was great meeting you. This is one of them nights that I got to be in 2 places at one time.
I understand.
Go record, honey.
Handle your business.
Hey, I got cupcake here. Cupcake gonna be on there.
Oh, you able to sit down, baby? Hey, okay.
Yeah,
I got Cupcake on. She's doing the harmonies in the background for me.
Oh, that's cute. Okay.
So I'm finna go in and knock this out, get this producer out the way, so we can link back up.
All right. Go
y'all
down and
have a
go.
good
We'll talk in a minute.
session.
All right.
All right. Yes, child. Okay, so he in the studio, child. How about that?
Yes, get
Okay.
it.
Oh, I love it.
Yes.
So now, yeah, what was that creative process like? Cause when you heard this song, girl, what went through your head? Cause as I'm listening to it, I'm like, damn, this is the jewel.
You know, it's crazy because I tell Win all the time. I say, Win, I think you have a little bug or something in my mind or in my house or something, because every song that we have put on this album has somewhere touched a part of my life. You
Wow.
know, so
Yeah.
it's almost you know, we sit down and we talk about situations and he asks me stuff. So he's actually picking my brain and,
Okay.
and writing songs from, you know, basically the conversations that we have. So when I hear the stuff that he puts together and how he put that song together, it was just like, wait a minute. Like, were you peeping through my window? Like, or
Right.
did you live next door to me? Did you see this
Okay.
happen to
Okay.
me?
Okay.
So it was kind of like surreal, like, oh my God, like this cannot be real. But it was an awe moment for me. And it kind of touched me because I'm like, okay, this guy is producing the type of music that I have been wanting to sing forever. Timeless music, soul music, music that makes sense, you
Right.
know? So
Right. Right.
that's what he has presented. And it's just like right on point.
Okay. Okay. So now you say we're working on an album. This is a single that's released. So tell us about the feel of this album. What is this album, and what's the whole idea or the message in the whole entire project?
You know, I'm going all for the women. You know, this is a
Ah,
straight up woman's anthem CD. Situations that we go through every day, you know, I mean, it's just everyday situations from beginning to end, put down in an album to make you feel like you're on a roller coaster ride.
ha. 'Cause that's what life
So,
is.
yes,
That's what life is, honey.
ups and downs and turns and
See.
rounds, and so that's exactly the type of music that I want to put out there. I want a song for every emotion that you're going through. If you're happy, I
Okay.
got something for you to listen to. If you're in your feelings, I got something for you to listen
Ah,
to.
your feelings. Come on.
If you're mad at your man, I got something for you to listen
If you're
to.
mad at it, okay, wait. She said, if you're mad, I just want to call them all kinds of dirty some bitches, honey. I got one. I got you,
I
baby.
got you.
I got you. Yes, I
I got
live.
you.
Okay, I live. So,
Yes.
when did you looking to drop the album? What's the name of this particular project?
The name of the album is called Decency. Decency. And Decency will be dropping before the year is out. We are wrapping it up. I have about maybe two more songs to add. We've actually shot the video to I'll Be Down in a Minute last
Yeah, I
week.
just saw that. I'm waiting on that. I'm waiting on that to be edited
Yes,
now, girl.
yes.
Because
So
I got
we are excited.
oh, you got to give me
Excited.
the visual to this girl. Because oh my god,
I am super
listen,
excited.
I got to call Wendell because I got to tell him. Everybody who knows me knows when I start getting my Patti LaBelle on and my hands get to going and things,
Come on.
child, I lose my mind because it's like music for me is a spiritual awakening because I believe that music is God's perfect language.
Uh-huh.
There's a song for any and everything that you're doing, good, bad, ugly, indifferent, so
Right.
called, don't know. If you question whatever, there's a song for it,
Yes.
and the music helps to get us into places where my voice can't, or
Mm-hmm.
my look can't,
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
my trepidation can't, or my
Yeah.
fear can't.
Yeah.
I'll play this song, honey. You understand what I'm talking about, honey. What Aretha say? Aretha say, honey, my little sister Carolyn comes. She said, Aretha,
Come on.
I got a
Come on.
song on the bottom. Honey, come on. Okay, when you can, there's something I want to say.
Yes.
When I got there, she said, rather than go through a long, drawn out thing,
Come on.
I'll let the melody on the box explain.
Explain. Come on.
See? Come
Show
on
enough.
now. So that's what music does.
Yeah.
It gives us that, and it lets us have all of whatever emotion.
Uh-huh.
It
Uh-huh.
gives us permission to emote.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying? From
Yes.
from, and I don't care what genre it is, because every genre has something in it that gives you the opportunity to express and to experience life.
Exactly.
So, honey,
Exactly.
I just marvel at this song. This is, girl, you coming out hard and you coming out strong, and I'm like, ooh,
Oh, honey,
ooh,
this is just like it's been amazing. The ride has been amazing, and we're just now starting.
yeah.
So I can just imagine, where it's gonna take us. I'm just a little old girl from a little country town, so
Girl, I
I,
told you, I see you, honey, bacon a ham, honey,
yes,
with a pot of greens, girl,
come
and
on,
some damn
cornbread.
salad and cornbread, honey. Now, okay, I got a little crock pot full of beans and some damn rice,
Come
chill.
on.
Okay, girl, listen. Okay, I said you old school, honey. See, you put some smoked turkey, but you want a ham
Uh-huh.
hock,
Uh-huh.
pork and the
Uh-huh.
beans.
You better speak. I cannot.
You know it. Okay, you know it.
Oh
Okay, I
yeah.
got time to be healthy today, girl. I need
Uh-uh.
that pork,
Right.
bake, these beans to taste like I need my taste.
Come on now, for
Okay.
real. Need a little bit of fat in these beans.
Little baby, hello. Ain't got no salt pork. You better give me that bacon, honey. Okay. I'll pull the rind off myself.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
You know what to say, I swear. Yes, sir.
So let me ask you this, and then
Uh,
let me take you to into your fantasy world, okay?
yes, okay.
And just continue, because I believe in manifestation, honey, and
Yes,
visualization and manifestation.
yes.
So let's put your dream concert together, or your dream album. If you can work with anybody,
Oh,
okay, producers, other artists, who are those that you would say, damn, if I live my life, and if God take me home, I'll be happy because I've worked with.
oh God. If God called me home today and I got a chance to sing with, oh my God, Anita Baker,
Uh huh.
or if I got a chance to do a song with Jasmine Sullivan or her,
Ooh.
um, look, if Prince was still alive, I would have loved to do something with Prince,
Now,
because he,
listen, the way how we doing technology now, girl. All you gotta do is get a clearance child and make a duet.
it's possible.
Yes, you
It's
could
possible.
get a clearance and make a duet, girl, and make that dream real.
It is
Yeah,
possible. You are so right. Yes.
Natalie did it with her daddy, honey. Come on
You
now.
I'm unforgettable. You are so
Ah,
right.
okay.
You are so right.
Come on.
But Layla Hathaway, any
Ooh.
of those ladies, if I could grace the stage with any of those ladies, even just be in a room just to have a conversation with them,
Uh huh.
I would be just a little happy butterfly.
Okay,
I would.
girl.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, my sister, listen. Let everybody know your dates and that you got coming up, because I need for the world to understand you. I need for
Yeah.
the world to get into Jason A, honey. I've got to, listen, this song, but I just the feeling that I have over you,
Mhm.
just in talking with you, your spirit is so beautiful.
Oh,
And
thank you.
what I know to be true is that those with this kind of spirit that I interact with are usually the ones they're going to be successful. I'm not going to say superstardom, but those who get you will get you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And what you're about to bring to this world of entertainment, honey, it is so needed. And your voice, girl, I'm telling you, it's like a big old hug. I just feel like it's a big old hug. And
Oh,
that's what's needed. It's needed. And I just got to get the word to get that hug from you, child. So tell them where you're
oh.
gonna be and things and how to find you and all that jazz.
Well, actually, we'll be traveling to Dallas, Texas tomorrow morning. We're doing a show down in Grand Prairie, Texas, Wynn and I. It's a black and white affair birthday party that we're doing down there. And I'll be coming back home and doing something locally for an election rally. So, when they call me back home, I'm always coming for home. And then we'll be going to Kentucky. We'll be doing 2 days up there in June, the 18th and the 19th. June 25th, I will be in Augusta, Georgia.
You coming here, girl? I'm in Atlanta. Girl. Don't make me do a road trip,
I
girl.
will be in
Just down
Augusta.
the way, child. Ain't but a couple of hours.
Yes, for Augusta. I think it's called Augusta Nights. So I'll
Okay.
be down in Augusta in June, the 25th. And I think I might have a one or two more dates. I don't want to say in June, but I'm really not sure. But they've been having me rolling, honey. So when they call, I go. I know I have some dates in September in
Uh-huh.
Selma, Alabama. So they are booking out and close.
Okay.
So
Okay. Okay.
yes.
Oh, sister. Okay, well, tell everybody how all your social medias and how they can find your music, all of that.
I am on Facebook under Jackie Jason A. Williams. I also have a fan page under Facebook under Jason A. You can find me on Instagram under Jason A. So all of my handles on social media would be Jason A. Click that and you'll find me. I'll pop up somewhere.
Okay. Okay. She said, I'm going to
Yeah.
put something. Sister. This here is, it is such a joy. And I can't stress it enough because I'm elated and I'm trying not to repeat myself. But one of the things here is that when you come down to people who are just real home people, down
Yeah.
home
Yeah.
and comfortable and looking because you feel like, okay, you know what, we in for the work, honey, but it's not work because this is what I'm born to do.
Yes. Yes.
You know, I'm born for this, and I want you to just experience the blessing that God has given me.
Yeah.
And that's, it's kind of like what Patty said, don't block the blessing, just pass it on.
Right. Just pass it
Pass
on.
it on.
Just
And
pass it on.
that's what I feel. And I'm wishing you everything. You have a friend here with dishing tea with Big Me, so anything, honey, I
Yeah.
don't care. We could do a listening party here when the album drops.
Oh, I
Oh,
would love it.
honey,
Yes.
oh,
Yes.
girl. Okay, you
I
know
would
what? As a
love
matter of
that.
fact, put that in Wendell's ear.
I know. Okay.
Party here. All
Okay.
12, 13, 16, 25
Yes.
tracks. We're
However
playing
many
right
there.
here. We're doing, honey. And get the audience into it and things
Yes.
and just have a good old time.
Yes.
I got cocktails. I got popcorn. I got we got everything.
We just get it together.
Get it together, okay? I love you so much
I
already, honey.
love
I'm gonna call
you.
you one of my new sisters, baby. You are just a joy.
Yes. Thank you so
You
much.
are just a
Thank
joy.
you. Thank
Okay.
you.
So with that, honey, I'm gonna let you get back into because you got to travel, girl. This already, girl. You got to travel.
Look, that's okay. Hey, I'm doing what I love.
Okay. Okay. So Miss Jason, I thank you so much for dishing your tea with us. Give all of
Thank
my love
you.
to everybody there, the entire team.
I will.
Mama, your brother that travels with you and carrying
Yes.
on. Wendell, honey, for taking good care of your things and
Great care.
putting you up on
Yes.
their big old wings of his and things. Okay. And all of that, honey. And trust truly, this is not the last time you will be here. I
Oh
already
no.
know that.
Oh no.
No, because I'm finna go to give all you children the call, but this is too fun. And I got to get on that Augusta show, honey.
Yes, honey. I'll be sending you that information.
Yes, you will, honey.
I
I'll be
will.
there.
I'll see you there.
Okay. All right, darling. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and I love you. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you for
You're
the
welcome.
opportunity. I love it.
Oh, baby. Yes, let's do it, honey. Yes. Ladies
Yes.
and gentlemen, Jason A, honey. Woo! I'll be down in a minute, girl. Yeah,
Yes, honey.
I love that.
Y'all go pick that up. It's on all music outlets. Just type in Jason A. I'll be down in a minute. And hey, you'll see that girl pop up in that black bodysuit.
Ha! Give it to me, girl. Okay,
Yeah.
baby. I love it. Thank you, baby.
Thank you, love. Have a
All
good
right,
one.
you too.
Bye-bye.
Oh, that's Jason A, everybody. Baby, did y'all like that song? I'm gonna play it one more time. Damn, wait a minute. I gotta redo it. I gotta put it back up in here. I hope I don't get dinged for it, but if y'all didn't hear it the first time If you're on with me live, honey, that's cute. If you're not and catching this in a replay and it's not theirs because I had to take it out because they saying that it was a copyright infringement, and that's not what I'm trying to do. However, sometimes it happens that we have to do that. Okay, so whenever they do that, I have to take it out so that we're able to move forward. Okay. But let me put this back up in here, child, because y'all got to understand this song is everything, honey. Ladies, I want y'all to catch this because it is everything. It is everything. It is everything. Okay, now we're gonna share the screen so y'all can understand this. Share the audio. And we're gonna share the screen. We're gonna play the song one more time. Well, come on, it got the load up. We waiting for the flash.
Hello? Yeah, it's Tom. Who is this? I'm gonna say that. Who? Say. Well, who you looking for? I'm looking for Tom. Girl, you got me messed up. But I'm gonna put him on the phone. Cause see, I'm a woman about mine. You heard me? But if he's yours, then come get him. Shorty's been calling my phone, playing with me, saying she's after my man and she gon' get me. I tighten up the scarf on my head, must be dreaming in bed. Did someone say they come to get me? This chick is playing with me. Wake up your girlfriend's on the phone, and she must be lit because she's the soul wrong. Better get your girl because she messed up. Better get her right from my door. By the time I hit the floor, I'm coming with you, girlfriend. See, she messing with my man, she gotta understand. You see them Jordan, them Nikes, I'm just protecting my investment, that's right. Girl, from that cologne he wears, got my initials in his hair. From his head to his toes to his underwear. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not his fool, but you don't know when me and him been busy. When I wasn't right, creeping at night. See, I left him alone, girl, I'm a soul wrong. Another man's side piece, he was fooling me. But when I finally saw the light, my man was there for me. But now the tables turned, there's fire in the burn. Oh, what a lesson I've learned. Girl, don't make me girlfriend. Little sister put her house shoes on. Do you hear me? Ooh, yeah. See, I done been through too much with that man. You better listen. From that smell good cologne, you would keep my initials in his hair. From his head to his toes. I'll be down in a minute. Ooh, I'm ready, babe. See, love will put you through some strange things. Sometimes see them Jordans, them Nikes. I'm just protecting my investment, that's right. Right out to the clothes he wears. Keep my initials in his hair. From his head to his toes to his underwear.
Angel show, you must be tripping. It's the middle of the night. See, I was keeping my sleep when baby reached and turned on the light. Told you to never hit me. Ain't no coming up to my home. You started to kiss too many feelings, girl. You know you gon' be having good time. Keep it going, man. But I told you I had my baby. No catching feelings. Now here you come, knocking on my door. Screaming you won't go. But with her, you got the right one, baby. You did not make
I'll be down in a minute, and I'm coming with everything I got. I'ma knock it down. Ain't gon' be tripping with you by my bed. Oh, I'm just protecting all of the years that I've been with that man. Ladies, now stand to his toes. Now look, I think you ought to gather your things and get on home. Cause this man right here, he already at home.
Oh.
See, I don't want to have to drag a sister out. But sometimes, ooh, girl gotta do what a girl's gotta do. Ain't gonna be tripping with you about my baby. Don't make me. Whatever you and him done, it's over, it's over. You done had your fun, you done had your fun. So please, don't make me get up, don't make me get out this bed. I'm going back to bed. Come on, baby.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. She said, I'm going back to bed. Come on, baby. Okay. Because she wasn't worried. Oh. You understand? She said she wasn't worried. Okay. Marla, what you said? She gave you permission, so you shouldn't get dinged. You know what? Anytime, like on YouTube and carrying on, I would do artist interviews and things and play their music and all that. Whoever the distributors are and things of that nature, they're the ones who ding on YouTube. So then I had to put in a dispute and say, no, I have permission because I'm interviewing the artist, honey, who sang the damn song. And I had to go through a lot of that and carrying on. So it becomes a big old headache. And I wish that there was a way we can find out through YouTube, or they would put that in the algorithms whenever we are doing interviews, because hell, all the other radio stations and stuff, it would be nice that we could come through and be able to be protected. Now, there's a way to do it. There's a license that can be bought. But when I went to go try to get the license, they told me, well, since I'm doing Facebook and YouTube, they're already protected, right? So we're protected by the music because it's already licensed. But what happens is it's like the individual distribution companies like Sony or UMG and those kinds of folks. Sometimes CD Baby, you know, would say that they would block stuff from playing or whatever. And depending on who it is, so I just end up just cutting it out and be like, okay, I don't feel like going through the headache. So yeah, that's what usually happens on that. So Hey Israel, did you go to your I sent you the link to come on in today. I told you I'd let you come in today because we didn't get to you yesterday. So yes, honey. Okay. So that there was that what you say, you love that bodysuit. Okay. Oh, your girl is kicking, honey. She is kicking. She is kicking. She's so soulful. She reminds me of another artist that I used to have that I had on the show a while ago. Her name was Tati. And oh my God, Tati, honey, yes, I may have to see. You know what? Okay, we're gonna talk broke back. Of course we are. Okay, let me do this. I'm gonna take a commercial break, and then buck breaking. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that because I did watch the movie finally. Not finally. I got it today. And I watched it. I watched it twice, actually. And so, yeah, so we're going to get into a lot of that today, honey. I'm going to have a little fun with you guys as well. And I'm going to do this now. I saw this as a Facebook post in one of the groups that I'm in. And they were like, they said 16. But it's more than 16. But I want you guys to name musical artists that when you hear their voice, they automatically put you in the mood. Okay. Who are those singers, honey, that are the go-tos when you're trying to set the mood? Not songs, because we all know songs. Give me tell me about singers. Okay. Because those are the people who can sing anything. Every time you hear their voice, it just make you just go right there. Okay. So let's talk about that. Okay, so while we're doing that, let me take this little commercial break so that we can shift gears and get into it. Okay, so I'll be right back in a few moments. Yes, I am. And yes, I will. Wait a minute, where are we? Right there.
Angelo Ellerby, the Henry Higgins of hip hop, is the founder, president, and CEO of Double Exposure Media Relations. Double Exposure Media Relations is a full-service public relations, marketing, and artist development firm specializing in publicity, photography, artist promotion and artist development, makeup artistry, event production, and EPK development. Celebrating over 45 years in the industry, Angelo believes that a culture that does not take care of nor respect its artists is a culture that leaves nothing behind to appreciate. Let Angelo help you make dollars and cents of the entertainment industry. Contact Double Exposure Media Relations at 201-224-6570. That's 201-224-6570.
Hello, hello, and hello again. Hey, I'm Helena Hologram. I'm your host of that wonderful show that comes on every Monday night at 9 o'clock p.m. sharp on Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Do me a big favor, go over to the YouTube Live and look for Hey Bitches. Like the video and subscribe so you can become a member of the Hey Bitches Live page.
Avea, Liliana, Olivia, Nyla, and Nasia. This is Nana. Hey everyone, it is your girl Aunt Nikki, and I am here to tell you about my Alo Nana Creations collection. So let me tell you what this collection consists of right now. Right now we have all natural body butters, all natural rose water spray, and handcrafted crystals and beads jewelry. That means you can get necklaces, you can get bracelets, you can get waist beads, you can get anklets. You can choose from what we already have, or you can give me a call, hit your girl up, honey, and tell me exactly what it is that you think that you need, and I will create a piece especially for you. Okay? So I want y'all to get into this. Yes, I sit here and bead every last one, honey. I'm having such a good time doing it. If you guys didn't see in the beginning when I called out those names, honey, Avea, Liliana, Olivia, Nala, and Nasia, those are my granddaughters. That is where the name Alo Nana came from. We started with the body butters, then I went into the jewelry, and baby, I just added this rose water, honey, and I am telling you, it is amazing. Look at the ending credits to see where you can purchase you some, where you can order it.
Attention all business owners. Use your advertising dollars here. Looking to reach a more diverse audience for your products and your services? Well, this is the platform for you. Dishing Tea Entertainment welcomes all businesses who wish to expand their brands and looking for clientele that's more than grown and sexy, but also the seasoned and sophisticated. For more information on how this spot can be yours, contact Big Meat at 404-914-5610 or go to our website at www.dishingtea.com. The views and opinions expressed here on Dishing Tea TV are strictly those of the hosts and guests of this program. They do not reflect the views and opinions or governing actions of any of the sponsors or affiliates of Dishing Tea Entertainment, Artist First Entertainment, Big Guy ENT, Atlanta Hot Radio, Black GDP TV, or Diversity TV. Your viewing and listening discretion is advised.
All right, and we are back, my darlings. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello.
Dr. Marla Fossey in here, the evangelist. Israel, you ready? Wait a minute. I want to see. He's trying to get it together, honey. I'm gonna wait till he's sitting down. And okay, you got it. No, he's still walking. Okay.
Is Aunt Nikki coming on tonight?
No, honey, she was having a real bad day. She done got stressed out.
Oh Lord.
Her head started to hurt. She said, "I'm going to lay down."
Mm-hmm.
I lay down, honey. I may not get in there, so I'm hoping that she is resting and letting that headache subside.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
definitely.
Her back has been bothering her. She's been having, she has sciatic nerve damage in her back,
Right.
and she's been having problems. And she said her back has like been burning. So
Mm.
she went to lay down and get some comfort, honey. So I'm like, okay, girl, let's get you together.
Yes.
Okay.
Amen.
But in the meantime and in between time, as I told y'all, oh, excuse me, we have, I've been watching the buck breaking video today, and I have put a whole show together for what I was going to do. But, child, this video got me smoking. Okay. But I will say from the jump, it is not as bad as I thought it was going to be. Okay. And I'm very happy for that because I thought it was going to be a whole bunch of gay bashing and carrying on the way that they usually do these particular topics. However, a lot of the information in here, I I agree with a lot. There's some of it, honey, that I question.
Mm-hmm.
There's some of it, honey, I'm like, no, you telling that story a little bit wrong because you didn't add this particular part in it. Okay, because the power to the people children want to believe that the Stonewall rebellion was told wrong. They want to say that the white LGBT community is usurping a story. Okay, but what they do not know is that during the Stonewall riots, just before the Stonewall riots, there was a black club that got raided.
Oh, okay.
That goes under the radar, and there was a black gay club for the same reasons, and that club goes up under the radar. In fact, it gets sucked into the whole Stonewall story. Okay,
Which
yeah,
a lot of things like that happened back in those days anyway, because
exactly.
they don't want the black part to come out. They want,
Exactly.
yeah.
And then the Stonewall story, there were a lot of the black trans children who were there that were fighting back. See, that it was the black children that were fighting back
Mm-hmm.
and through the first punches. And it was the girl. It was the girls. That's to come when we get on LGBT children because there's a lot of hatred towards the trans community within the culture.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we have to tell these no, know your history, honey, because what we know as the gay rights movement, honey, started with the trans girls.
Okay.
They threw the first punches.
Well, like I told you, I'm learning a lot of this because all this stuff was basically taboo for us when we grew up. You
Yeah,
know, you don't talk about that. You
yeah.
don't fucking know nothing about it. You ain't like that, so why do you need to know?
So why you worried about it? Exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's why this particular documentary, I'm like, no. We're gonna tell that story the right way.
Mhm.
Okay. Because I had to Haji, I had to tell him the same thing. He was like, no, they stole that. I said, no, honey, they did not steal that. There was a second club. The other club is the club that went up under the radar that was not talked about during the Stonewall riots. That was a black club that had a lot of Black Panther Party movement that carried on there, that had some gay folks in there, and it was an all-inclusive club.
Oh, okay.
And that's what that was. So that story gets sucked into the Stonewall story. Yeah, it gets sucked into it because it happened. I think they were like a week apart or something like that. That it happened.
Okay.
But because of the Stonewall, being that it was gay, trans, and this, that, and the other, all the taboos, that's what made the history because they were fighting the police.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
I got it.
Yeah, they were fighting back. Israel, you ready? Because I'm bringing me in. All right, there we go.
Hey, Uncle Meech, how are you?
Hey, baby, what's your tea, darling? What's your tea?
This is my tea. Yesterday, when I said certain things in the comment, first of all, I would like to say hi, Dr. Evangelist Marley Facey. It's
Hi,
a
how are
pleasure
you
to see
doing?
you in person. I am good, and I'm blessed because I woke up.
Amen.
The first,
Amen.
the first, the first. Thank you, Amen. The first thing I like to say is I said what I said,
Uh-huh.
and it needs some clarification. When I say that if we conform to the things that we have been taught and keep on learning His story, which is His story,
Uh-huh.
someone else's story, we will
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
always be saved. But
Right.
like I said, my job as a minister, teaching student is to minister, teach, and study with others. No
Uh-huh.
one can tell me what to say in one breath and the next breath.
Right.
Right.
I claim three spiritual practices, not religions.
Right.
I claim the Hebrew practice. I study more science. I was studying more science at 15 with my brother. Then I dropped off the grid and just started to deviate and find different things. Then I became the Hebrew religion, Hebrew practice
Mm-hmm.
when I was 24. What drew me in is he said, I asked him, do y'all believe in Jesus? And he said yes. So that's what drew me in.
Mhm.
No one can tell me what to say out of my mouth.
Uh-huh.
Now, people may disagree. Just because someone is one spiritual practice, Muslim, Christian, Hebrew, does not make anybody right. Because everybody has a piece to the puzzle that puts it together to create one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So if
I-
you want to get technical, you could call me, well, I call myself a Moorish Yahwadan. Black is a color, it is not a race.
Right.
White
Okay.
is a color, but it's not a race.
Right.
There were Moors. The Moors basically had a conquest and they went to Spain, but that's not the truth. They went all the way to England because if you look in England, you will see pictures of black, statues on certain fixtures and buildings. You can look it up.
Uh-huh.
The
Now I got
Moors did not conquer Spain; they conquered almost all of Europe.
Mhm.
There were white people who have pictures of white people as kings and queens, but they whitewashed it. They colored over them. Why? Because they were black people. They called it the blue black people. Are you familiar with that, Dr.
Yeah.
Marlon Face?
Yes, I
That
am.
they kept on, they covered over them. And what they got the Moorish blood out was keep on mixing with white and keep on mixing with white and white and white. And my thing is, no matter how much you mix a race, you are still part of that race. The
Mhm.
5% rule, I don't like that because that was for slavery. People who had uh Moorish blood in them or black blood as we speak could not get into office because they had that blood. So 5% and 1%, not 5%, my bad. 1% makes you whole.
One drop.
1% of everything does not necessarily make you whole. So
Mm-hmm.
you mean to tell me if your father's Cherokee, Italian, and more or black, and your mother's African, Caucasian, and Finnish, that you mean you're gonna deny half of the races because one of them is black blood?
Right.
I wouldn't.
Right. But that
There
that was
are.
practicing. And now let's go for clarity because
Mhm.
here is where I think we had got all up in arms. Aunt Nikki was saying this yesterday, and I know you wanted to come in to clarify yourself. What the argument was is that how it presented itself was that you're saying that we can't go by what's being taught
But
because
yet
we
you
have
said you
to
were a teacher.
scrutinize the teachings.
Mhm.
And then you right behind it said, but I'm here to teach you. And so the dichotomy
Mhm.
of those two sentences going back to back like that was where it is. We knew what you were trying to say
Yeah.
as far as let me enlighten you because what you just did, I got knowledge that you need to know because what you were taught was not necessarily complete. At the same
Mhm.
time, the way how it read was no, you can't go by those teachers, but I'm gonna teach you the right way. And then
No, that's not.
and but that's how it read, and
That's
that's
not that may be not how you meant it. We
that's not how
understand
you
that.
meant
That's
it.
not how you
We
meant
know
it.
that's
But
not how
that's how
you
it
meant
read.
it. That's how it read, and that's what
Mhm.
you were trying to say. it's reading this way. I know you didn't mean it that way,
Right.
but this is how it's reading. And oftentimes, especially now that we're in a world of 140 characters in the text message,
Right.
you know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? All we have is how things come across and how it's read.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you're not given the opportunity so we can hear where you are. You can state it and present it, which is why I wanted to make sure you came on today, because I knew that was in your heart. I said, no, they need to hear it so that so it'll come out of your mouth and your words, and we're not trying to put words in your mouth.
Right.
Right.
And I understood
when I
it like
said
that.
that, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I understood exactly what Nikki was trying to say, because it's like me, I'm a minister, but I also can say, well, I can teach you, but I may not teach you exactly everything that the book says, the Bible says, because there's some things in it that I find maybe like, okay, I don't know it enough to teach it. There's some things that I just don't know enough to teach. And a lot of times we are, we study to show ourselves approved. You know what I'm saying? That's what we're supposed to do. So even in something that you are getting knowledge on, you're growing knowledge on and stuff like that, it doesn't make a person a perfectionist at it, because guess what? You're getting your knowledge from stuff. I'm not saying you personally, but I'm saying a person as in general is getting knowledge from somewhere that they're reading it from and learning as well. So it really is kind of what, like, you take what people say and you say, okay, it sounds good to me. It sounds right to me. I got it. And then there's some things you can say, well, I don't really know that much about it, so I can't agree or disagree. You see what I'm saying? But it's enlightening because you're able to teach it.
That's why I minister to people. I teach, but I'm a student, which means I listen and hear what other people are saying, because I know a lot of knowledge, but someone may pull something else that I may forgotten or may not seen. So I'm studying, I'm teaching, but I'm ministering. I didn't say that I am, just listen to me, because
no, we didn't
I say
think that,
what I.
We did not think that. That's not what we thought at all.
That's not what she was saying. What it was,
not at all.
Clarity, because in reading stuff like that, this is how those who want to do dastardly things, or those who want to twist and cause confusion, this is what folks would internalize. Because those two sentences back to back, the way that they were, that's what folks would take from it. That's why I wanted you to come on, so that you can say it, so they can hear your words. And it wasn't us trying to interpret for you, because we knew what you meant. I just wanted you to make sure that give you the opportunity to where you can say it yourself and put it in your own words, so that folks can hear it from you.
Right. Because these kind of shows are on podcast all over. And so only if only looks like 10 or 12 people may be listening right this moment, it's going on all these different shows and platforms for years. I mean, you know how the network is and how stuff is.
Right.
It's on once it's on the computer, it's on the computer forever. So we want to make sure that whatever is being said is something that other people are hearing the same thing for, hearing what you're really trying to say.
Yeah, and like Izza's room, I don't know if I've been off the Nightheart Network. I haven't been off of it. I just been like looking at your comments here and there, like the Nightheart Networkers, the little our page we got. I've been looking at comments, but I am a caretaker of my mother. So I've been very busy, and I'm still getting the technology together. I got the computer and stuff like that, but I need to get insurance and stuff. Okay. So Izza's room is going to be controversial, but it's not going to be controversial topics where people are going to be writing me hate mail and death threats and all that type of stuff. Because you do got to watch what you say on the air. Just like Dr. Marla Facey said, that is on there forever. You know what I'm saying? You can text something and you can actually find a way. They have now a way that you can erase it, so that not in text messages, but if you write something on Facebook, let's say you inbox somebody something, you can actually take it off so they can't see it, or you can't see it.
Right.
But when you say something, it's permanent. That's like on permanent record. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people knew my struggle back then, because I met Helena years ago. Me and Helena go way, 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 way back. Oh, like 21 years.
Oh,
I don't mean to tell my age, but she knew who I was as a person, and she's a really good person. I respect her and I love her, and I always cherish her. But she knew me back then. I was a completely different person. My name was Nikki Six, Queen of the Sixth Kingdom. But that's a whole different story for a whole different time. Life has made me at this point asexual.
Okay.
which what? Okay,
Asexual means,
which means
huh?
I was gonna say which means. Go ahead and explain it.
Asexual means little or no sexual attraction to either sex.
Okay.
Life has made me that way
I have a
because
grandson
I've had
that's what he is too. I
really.
don't know how he knows that at his age, but hey.
I mean, at this point, that's what I claim because I'm not into that no more. Because life, like I said, has made me that way. My experiences, stuff I went through. If you would look at my Facebook page and go all the way close to the beginning, you would see actually a story that tells a whole lot in just a few paragraphs.
Oh, okay.
But I want to one day open a church, Uncle Meech and Dr. Marla Facey, whereas anybody is welcome, whether you're a Hebrew, Muslim, Christian, whatever your orientation, your creed, whichever you choose to claim, you're welcome there. Because I don't believe salvation is for just one sect of people. Salvation is for everybody. But my salvation may be different from yours or different from Uncle Meech's. Salvation is my salvation. Well, why are you going on this? Okay, if you're not on the same road as me, then we're not going the same place.
But there can be different roads to that one place, right?
Right.
Yeah, they're different roads, and I want people to be on different roads to different places in their own salvation, if that's what they choose, or if that's what they not choose. Because I want one day a building, a communing place where people can come and feel welcome, no matter what they practice or what they believe or what they do. Because when you're dealing with
the one thing that we should have in common is the love of people.
Right.
Yeah, I love everybody.
Right. So that's my point. I'm saying when we have that common denominator, the word love, loving everybody, loving people where they're at, loving them whoever they are. When we have that as a denominator, the rest is like what they call it, irrelevant, really.
Okay.
Because some people say, "Oh, you're in this church, you're doing this, you're doing that, you're not welcome." Look, I'm gonna tell you one thing. If you go into a church, any church, and they say, you're not welcome because you're wearing this, or you're not welcome because you do that, that's a synagogue of Satan, in my opinion.
Okay.
You can't have a place of gathering, a place of communing, where every single body is on the same path. That's like saying, if God made us all one mind, one train of thought, cut from one cloth, it would be weird. That's like, I don't know if you've seen the movie The Matrix, Uncle Meech. Have you seen The Matrix?
Yes, the whole trilogy, honey.
Where they had the people and they had Neo and everybody was walking with suits and everybody had the same thing on. That would be boring if you had a world like that. That would be boring. Wouldn't it be boring? If everybody wear the same thing, think the same way.
It's beyond boring. What it is that it has no life. Monolithic, being monolithic, honey, is something that I personally do not believe that this world was meant to be, because if that was the case, then we wouldn't have different types of flowers, different types of trees, different types
we wouldn't have a need for salvation, because he set it up there. Anyway, that's garbage to me. That kind of stuff.
And in order to understand who we are as the salt of the earth, and that there is flavor, because see, when you put salt on the meat, is for what? It's to give it flavor, honey. It's to tenderize it and also to preserve it. Okay. Salt is also for preservation. Okay. And so with that, I don't believe that the world that we live in, especially now with the intelligence that we have to know better, okay, that we were all supposed to be in this monolithic thing, because if that was the case, then none of us would have had thought to create anything. The world
Right.
would have been as it had been back in the days of the Garden of Eden, the way that story has been taught to us. If the world was created the way it is taught to us in biblical principles, and God wanted to be monolithic, then hell, he would have done away with Adam and Eve when she ate from the tree and just started over.
But even in the story, he did when she had her children, Cain and Abel, they were completely different.
Exactly.
So even though he started it off like that,
Right.
he gave choice came in.
Right.
Choice came in, and children were born, and we were born in all these different ways.
Right.
One was a hairy son, and the other one wasn't a hairy son. When it comes to Esau and all them, so we're made to be different.
Exactly.
Period. Point.
There's over. If I would have to send you the link. I'm gonna try to send you the link, Uncle Meach, to tell you where to go on the internet. There are over 500 lost books of the Bible.
Okay.
And they were taken out.
Yeah.
Because people were dipping and dabbing. I don't want them to see this, to see that. See, everything that's hidden will come to the light.
Right.
No matter what it is. Because even though I can't see at night without my glasses, when I wake up in the morning, I see everything. So it's nothing new under the sun, and it's nothing that I can't see. In the daytime, I see everything, but when I put on my glasses, I can see everything. It's like when you have on a pair of shades. The stuff is already there when you have on the shades, but then when you take off the shades, you can see much more because you're not blinded by the shades.
Or restricted.
Right. And in that palace or in that building, in that place of communion, I want every single body in that place to learn something. But it's not. I feel like, I probably had to somehow get be ordained by somebody. Right. Sometimes by man people are appointed and anointed, but by God you're simply anointed and appointed. You know what I'm saying? And I have a lot to say, and I've read a lot of the Bible and dissected stuff, and I'm still learning. My spirituality is changing day by day. It's changing month by month, second by second. See my head wrap?
Right.
I've always wore head wraps, but that's changing. And when I wear that stuff on my face, most people think it's from one religion.
I can't see that well when it comes to that part. If you're saying you have something on your face, I can't see.
No, he said
I'm talking about my head wrap. My head wrap.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I like that.
To me, it's a symbol of chastity. That's how I look at it. Because I want to be chaste. Because you have to be chaste when you well, I had to be chaste when I be in the spirit or talk to somebody. I can't just sit there, and I have to have that chastity because that's protection for me, because all the stuff that's happened in my life. I have an interesting story, but everybody has a story. But my story is interesting. It could be a comedy. It could be a drama. It could be Shakespeare. It could be anything. And it could be horror. I'm just trying to tell you, my story is interesting. And the people back in the day who knew my struggle, I respect them highly. And that's Derek. I knew him back in the day, and he helped me out with a lot of stuff that I was going. He's seen the stuff that I was going through. He's seen the gruesome, grotesque, horrendous stuff that I experienced. And he was there to guide me out of it.
Amen. Amen.
So now we're in this era of evolution and self-discovery, which is a lifelong lesson, because once you get to whatever the level that is and you start to flourish there, then there's going to be growth.
Another level. Yeah.
There's another level. I teach this to folks. I say, whenever you reach the top rung of the ladder that you're climbing, you automatically become the bottom rung of the new ladder.
That's true.
Okay, so that there
Question.
is that, but I want to tie this into the whole idea of the movie Buck Breaker. I was hoping you was able to have came in on the stream. I bought it and I streamed it with Dr. Marla over on Zoom. We were going to try to do it again tomorrow for those who may have. It depends on my time, but I think I'm gonna end up doing it. I know I'm gonna do it again because I want folks to partake in it and to look at it and to see what it is and to understand what it is that we as Black folks are saying. What our Black power to the people children. I'm gonna say that because I'm not calling the Black leaders. I'm just gonna call them. No, I'm gonna do it like this. Let me call them the conscious community. I'll do it that way. We call them the conscious community. Okay, in their preservation or preservation of what they're calling Black masculinity, which okay, um, and in their quest to preserve Black families and this, that, and the other. This particular documentary is supposed to outline how buck breaking got started, what it's supposed to mean, and et cetera, et cetera. Now, after watching it, there's some things in here that I would like to research even further because they were giving examples and some things that they talked about. But again, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be as far as bashing the LGBT community. However, I will say that I'm questioning everything because though they did not talk about us as Black alphabet children being the enemy, okay, we the Black alphabet children are considered to be the side effect of what the white LGBT children have done. So we're like the collateral damage of it. Okay. And then there's some mistruths up in there because for these children to sit down there and say that Black folks have always been tolerant and accepting and not homophobic, I'm like, I don't know where the hell on what side of the planet that you've been living on. But the examples in that have been where we're not the ones who killed Matthew Shepard and we didn't shoot up the Pulse nightclub and this, that, and other. That wasn't us. But no, we not the ones to go out and do dastardly things in the numbers like that to where it caused greater harm to the greater community. All of the bashing and stuff come from in the neighborhood. I couldn't walk down the damn street because I walk like my mom. I got a natural switch to my walk. So I couldn't walk down the street without getting picked on. I had to fight all the time in group fights, in the projects, and this, that, and other. Everybody had an Uncle Peaches, okay, somewhere in their family, and Uncle Peaches was always the one getting talked about. It was always the punks and the fags and the sissies and this, that, and other. And for them children to say that Black folks have been tolerant and not homophobic, that is a lie from the pit of hell that it came from.
That's right. That's right. Because I mean, I'm 55, and I remember. We had a boy. I had a boy in my class named Dwayne. I don't want to mention his last name, but he got beheaded. He got beheaded by a train. They put him on the train tracks, and he got beheaded by a train.
Jesus.
And Wayne, we called him Wayne. He lived up the street from me, and he was really my best friend back then. I mean, I hung around with him all the time. He was my best friend. We were like all the way from kindergarten all the way up to 6th grade. And then I was in a foster home, so I got taken away and put somewhere else. But Wayne was my really, really good friend. And I remember when I got the news that he had been beheaded, he had been tied down on the railroad track.
My God.
You know, and he would switch and he did all that. He did all that. And I think what it is I've always been accepted to all types of people because I was considered different myself. Even as a foster kid, you're considered different.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so I was always accepting to everything. But when I got saved and when I gave my life to Christ and got into the church, I really noticed the homophobia. Like literally, they were I mean, you know, I didn't know anything. I really didn't know a lot of differences because I wasn't really born. I don't know. I was just, maybe I was a dummy. I don't know. I didn't know about a lot of that stuff, but I just know that I always accepted people. And
Mm-hmm.
even now, I still accept people. My son, I think is pretty much is in the same realm that Israel's in. Excuse me, that Israel's in a lot of ways. But I don't. We talk a lot, and I'm learning what he is picking up on. A lot of things I agree with, some things I don't agree with. But I'm able to tell him, you got to find those things out for yourself. You got to find out where you are in God, because we're all in a different age group. We're in a different time in our life, and we're
Right.
ever evolving. If we were just staying at the same place that we were as a young person and never evolving into other and learning, I I pity the person that's 70 years old and never changes,
Who
never has
never,
changed.
right.
You're
Right.
supposed to be
Yeah.
ever going. You're supposed to be ever growing. You're supposed to be ever getting knowledge. You should also be ever opening up to all types of things. There's no reason to sit and say my way is the only way or my way is the highway.
Mm-hmm.
Never.
My, back in the day when people walked in the church and with the minister preaching and they see somebody different, let's put it that way,
Mhm.
their whole sermon would turn to homosexuality. I'm like, hold on, hold on, hold on. Like, what is that about? And I said, you know
Well,
what? It ain't. Has that ever happened in New York Beach? You walk in the church
baby,
and
and
then,
too many times, honey, I have been the victim of it. Listen, I've had somebody. I was 15 years old. I will never forget it because it was the first time I went to that church and the last time because I was a guest of a friend.
Mhm.
He wanted me to come in and visit his church, and I said okay. And I don't like doing big churches. Okay, I just don't.
I don't
Okay,
either.
I don't like it because it's too many things there. Number one, everybody always going because they got the best choir or they don't just run the McDonald gospel choir thing. That makes me mad. I don't believe in competition in gospel music. Okay, because why are we competing for God? That doesn't make sense to me.
Amen. Amen.
Okay, because and then you want to
I
sit down there and
understand
say
that.
that when Satan was an angel, Satan was over the choir. So that's where vanity comes in. So if that's what you're
mm,
teaching from the pulpit, then why is it that you let the church sit up there and compete in a gospel competition? That's a whole nother story. So
mm-hmm.
I don't like going to big churches. So I
It's a
went,
form of gambling, ain't it?
huh?
It's a form of gambling, ain't it?
Okay.
I'm just
So,
saying.
so it was a big church. I'm sitting there, and the minister is doing. I won't say the pastor. He wasn't the pastor. He was one of the ministers on the roster. He going. He just a going, and I was getting into it, right? Well, all of a sudden, my spirit got broken because the children that was sitting next to me, she say, "Oh, we got to go home soon." And the
What?
husband say, "Well, what you mean?" She said, "Yeah, because I left the beans on. So the beans are cooking. So we got to get on home so I can check the beans."
Mhm.
That conversation broke my spirit because I'm here. But that infiltrated me and it broke my spirit. I turned. I'm like, girl, y'all ain't into this sermon. You talking about beans?
They didn't want their
Okay,
house to burn up, Meech.
huh?
They didn't want their house to burn up.
I well, use a crock pot. Okay, so I'm like, all right. So I'm like, okay, cool. Well, then what happened? They was doing the altar call and everything, and so they wanted to go and they wanted to pray on folk and this, that, and the other. Well, then the pastor called for all the ministers to go and pray, right? Well, the guy came up to me.
I bet he did.
There was a girl in front of me. Now, spirit hit her, and the way how the spirit hit her, I thought she was having a seizure because her eyes crossed like that, and they went in the back of her head. And then she
Mm,
did, and I thought she was having a seizure, but okay, she in the spirit. All right, all right. He came up to me, and he looked at me, and he says, that spirit coming out of you. What spirit? Okay. So then he want to pray over the homosexual spirit in me. Now, at this time, I'm still new with church or whatever, and I believe in church. I'm like, oh, well, okay. You calling it out or whatever. I'm 15 and I was sexually active at the time. So I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm in that same traditional Christian mindset of I'm in sin and okay, I'm gonna turn it over to God and all right there, Lord, but call it out. So I raise my hands up to receive prayer. This child wanted to let the Holy Spirit come down on me, right?
Mm.
He took his hand and did like this. But when he went in, these fingers got to squeezing on
Jesus.
my temple.
Jesus.
And when I tell you this mother, and yeah, I was finna say motherfucker, this child was squeezing me so hard, it was hurting me, and I'm trying to break his grip.
Mhm.
He's sitting up there trying to tell me, let it go. Just let the Spirit of the Lord go. Let it go. I'm trying to break his grip because he is really piercing my temples.
Mm.
And so I went down and I was able to shake my head because I didn't want to hit him. I'm trying to respect him. I did not want to hit him. So I was able to loosen his grip. But he sat there and told me, he was saying, let the spirit is in you. You got to let the spirit be free. You got to let the Holy Spirit come in you and let the spirit be free. And that was the last time I set foot in that church because now you trying to make me shout.
I'm
And
gonna
that
tell you
Can
something.
I say something? Oh,
Go ahead.
go ahead, Israel.
I believe that different sexualities is innate, which means you're born with it.
right.
It can be a choice or is environmental. You're not going to sit there and tell me that a lesbian, someone who is gay, someone who's a bear, someone who is poly or whatever, you're not going to tell me it's a spirit. You're not going to tell that don't work for me. That's like, excuse my language, defecate on me and tell me it's raining Skittles. Because God created people, different mindsets for a different reason. And that is what he created it for. But you cannot tell me that is a spirit. I'm not going for that one. What do you think about that, Doctor?
I do believe it's a spirit. I don't believe it's a bad spirit. I believe that God places spirits within a person. Um,
Mhm.
Now, this is how I would react to something like that if I was, if I felt that. But first of all, people, it's got to be God driven. First of all, everybody that goes down, everybody that feels like they got a need to pray over somebody. The Bible says
Oh,
don't put no hands on nobody suddenly anyway. So first of all, I feel like you
Yes,
got to be spirit led. You got to be spirit led. And those spirits, the spirit between Meech and that person already should have had a connection, first of
and it
all.
did. That's
So
why he
it would
came
have
to
been
me
a
because he was gay himself. You see, that's what I came up with.
Oh,
Now you
well,
said
maybe that, but I
trying to do the church thing and try to pray it out because he came right up to me and in the spirit
right.
wanted to call it out. No, honey.
I
Okay.
won't let hardly nobody touch me. I let my
Okay,
relatives
so
hug me. I let my relatives hug
can I,
me. I let my mom hug me. My mom is only allowed to put her hands in my head, my sister and my niece. Because people, whatever is in your mind comes out your tongue, comes out your hands. And
well,
for
see,
someone to
I
just
don't agree with
lay
that
hands
because I
suddenly
say that
on me,
everything that I, I'm not, I'm not agreeing with what I'm going to say is what comes from the heart comes out
Heart.
of the mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
So what's in your heart comes out
It's
of your
what
mouth.
you want to
But let me
project.
go back to what I was gonna
The
say
reason why I
about
said your
the
mind,
situation with me. Huh?
the reason why I was
I
saying
didn't
your
hear you.
mind, let me explain it. Because what's in your thoughts can emulate through your hands if you're praying over somebody. What you're thinking, and then I pray upon somebody. If I have a bad negative energy in my and it's in my mind, like in your heart, I do agree with that. But if it's in your mind and your
Mhm.
heart, it's going to emulate from your body. And when you say things through your tongue, it's whatever you say, think, and you think in your mind and you say it, then it's coming from your mind.
Mhm. Yeah.
And it can read your tongue as a weapon.
Okay. Okay. I agree with some of that. I'm not that to me that's mixing apples and oranges and who cares
Right,
actually.
right,
I wanted to get back to what I wanted to get back to what this situation is, because if I was the one that and God had spoke to me and I
right,
knew it was God speaking to me to have him delivered or whatever the case is, if God really said to that man that go to him because I need him I'm going to deliver him, it would have happened.
right,
You know what I'm saying? It would have
right.
happened. So we go at things so wrong in the church a lot of times. What he probably was to do was to just pray for him himself, not do all that, because
Right.
you at that point you have ran another person away from the Spirit of God drawing them. Maybe it wasn't that specific Sunday that Meech. I mean, if it was that, I'm not saying you right or wrong, Meech.
I
I'm
got
not
you.
saying that.
Uh-huh.
But what I'm saying is, if it was the Spirit of God leading him, and he was really going to change who Meech was, he would have been working through that man without having to really make him feel any kind of way.
Exactly. Exactly. Now, let's tie all that to the movie because,
Hey, Vincent and
okay,
TJ.
yeah, TJ said you remind him of somebody named Francis Facey from Jamaica that used to work at the College Park 911.
I'm not her, but I have a Frances Facey as a sister-in-law,
Okay.
and she's from Jamaica. My husband's Jamaican.
Okay. Um, uh, what they were talking about in the movie Buck Breaker. Now, for those of you who tuning in, I'm going to stream it again sometime tomorrow, I hope.
Mhm.
The new documentary that Tariq Nasheed has done, Buck Breaking. I watched it and yeah, okay. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. So I was preparing myself for a lot of the alphabet children bashing that I was expecting, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And the onus that they put on it was about our Caucasian and European counterparts and their mission to destroy the black family. Now, the route that they took, I got.
Mhm.
Okay, but there's instances in there that just didn't make sense to me because these folks want to sit up and believe the narrative that black folks have never been homophobic, or we have that we as black we have always been the most tolerant and the most accepting of the alphabet children. And I
That's
said,
not.
on whose planet? Because see, everything
We're
about
not, but we're not accepting of anything that's not, if it's not directly mandated through the Word of God the way they
exactly,
think it is, they're not tolerated with anything. You
exactly,
know, I mean, they're not tolerated with you wearing in certain religion, in certain Christian beliefs or whatever, however you want to put it. They're not even tolerant with you wearing pants. Some of them. So I
right,
mean, how tolerant?
right,
They're not tolerant.
exactly. All because
A
of
lot
I
of people.
agree. I agree.
understands,
A
which
lot
is
of people leave the church because of their non-tolerancy. Hello.
right, exactly.
You know what I
So
do on purpose when I go to a church? I might wear a pair of jeans just to see what they're going to say.
Well, you
And
know
okay,
if
what? To
I
be honest,
know,
nowadays most churches, for the most part, aren't even that caught up anymore like that because they can't control those things.
exactly,
yeah, because
right.
I wear a pair of jeans the first time I go to that church. I don't do it no more, but I used to wear a pair of jeans the first time I go to church to see, oh, he got on jeans. What's going on? People like to make places of worship a
I
fashion show because I used to be Catholic and I stopped practicing Catholicism when I was 22. But everybody wants the big hats. Everybody wants the Burberry pants. Everybody wants the different type of shirts that are popular. Everybody wants to dress like they going to a Broadway show, and it's like, wait a minute,
Well,
this
a
is
lot of
not
that,
something's not
a
right
lot
about
of
this.
that is that there is residue from slavery because the way how we were taught to go to church was you give God your best.
mm-hmm,
That's where
mm-hmm.
that's where the term Sunday's best come from because
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
for the most part you only had that one suit and you wore it every Sunday. So you give God your best because that was your
And
best.
and if you was a man, 2 pair of shoes, the
Yes, right.
brown one and the black
That's the
one.
black one. And that's what that was. So that's where the term comes from.
Mm-hmm,
But also that there is this residue from what we were taught from um slavery times and oppressive times and all of that.
mm-hmm,
But one of the things in the movie that just disturbs me is that everything that they were talking about as far as buck breaking is concerned and alphabet children, I'm tired of the correlation between alphabet children and pedophilia. Okay.
right, right. Because those two things don't have anything to do with each
They
other.
have nothing to do
And
with each other. They
no,
have nothing to do with each other. And here's the
but they
thing.
did. But now, but me, but Meech, you also gotta give them a little bit of credit on that because they basically did say that it wasn't from the black folks.
Well,
They
that but
didn't say black.
here's
They
the thing.
didn't say it was from. They didn't counterpart you. You know what I'm saying? They basically said
Right.
your black alphabet children don't. They're not into that like the white ones are because they remember they talked about where the guy was,
this
you
is
know,
the
choking
that there
himself and all that. Black folks take into that.
that there I
Damn
think
it.
possibly
I
the
don't get.
beauty is because it wasn't so much as are we talking about butt breaking and then they were bashing us for being black alphabet. But what I am going to say is this: the whole idea of pedophilia and carrying on and being as completely associated to the alphabet children. I'm sick of that correlation because in our community, in the black folk community, see, the pedophiles have always been Uncle Charlie, Grandpa so and so, and carried on. We have that. We got a lot of internalized cleaning that we got to do. You know that we don't talk about. Okay, so
Right,
these are the things.
right.
I'm glad that they said what they said. Okay, as far as getting
Mhm.
out there,
Hmm.
because Nambla, okay, Nambla, them children there, I remember
Okay.
them years ago when they were an organization and they wanted to sit down there and oh my God, we used to have a talk show on in Detroit called Kelly and Company, and them children, somebody from that organization came on that show, and they were trying to tell us that the children wanted to be touched and loved and cared.
Molested.
And if I
Well,
can
that's
find,
what the priest do. That's what the Catholic priest does. He says they want it.
yes,
They want the love and the nurturing.
yes,
That's how they.
and
That's their
and that's
mind.
how they
Like
make
I
this.
don't see
They
wrong with
they,
it.
they have this, and I'm like, no, honey. What they want
Right.
is hair. They wanted the candy that you gave them, or they wanted the toy that you coerced them in, and this, that, and the other. And they only say, yeah, because it's you, especially if it's somebody that they
Or
trust.
they don't want their mom or daddy killed because you
Right.
done told them that's what you
So
want
what
to do.
we
When
have
the stuff
here,
when the stuff hit the fan with the Catholic Church and I started examining and hearing and seeing things we're doing, I got up out there quick, fast, soon, and in a hurry.
I tell folks that a lot of the people need to watch the movie
Ghetto bullshit keeps getting assigned to CUNY in an effort to discredit
What's that?
I was reading her.
Oh yeah,
Pedophilia, the BS of pedophilia keeps getting
pedophilia should keep
assigned.
getting assigned to the LGBTQ community in an effort to discredit and dehumanize the community and redirect attention away from the actual offenders. Grooming begins in the safe places. Say that, Amy, because that is so
That's
true.
it. That's it.
It's always in the safe places because you gain the children's trust.
Trust.
Okay. Now, in the documentary, there's some things that have come out about the Boy Scouts, and what I do love is this. And
Now that's some true stuff. Now
the Boy Scouts, what he said about the Boy Scouts, it rings true, and things about a lot of that. The hell, even the YMCA, the Young Men's Christians Association, that used to be an all-white organization.
they all started out white. Most all of
Yes,
those. We didn't really have anything. We didn't have functions for our own children like that.
exactly. And I want to say this. And that there, the one child was talking about. Now, I've never known that the gay community to be lynched and this, that, and the other in droves and in numbers. Yeah, they had isolated incidents, but no, darling. During the time of Hitler and all that kind of stuff, that's where the triangle comes from. The triangle that we had, it's the pink triangle.
Mm-hmm.
The pink triangle used to be the sign that they would torture a lot of gay folks with, or those presumed to be gay during the Hitler and stuff time when they put them in concentration camps. And
Mm-hmm.
that was the mark that they put on them for being improper, impure, and this, that, and the other. And they tortured those folks. Now at that particular time, most of them were white, you
Right.
know, and a lot of them were not blonde hair and blue eyes. They were the brunettes and all of the and when they were killing the Jews and the Holocaust and all of that.
Right.
Okay, a lot of that was their marker. So a lot of that they were saying, if you do the history of it, it gets a little blurred. And I dig that may not want to talk about European or white folks' history in America because you're concentrating on Black history. I get that, but if you don't tell the story, tell it right.
Tell it right.
There are instances where groups of us have been lynched and ostracized, or at least tortured and carried on simply because of who we are, which is why it was all incognito. They
Yeah.
talked about how that J. Edgar Hoover and all these other different leaders and stuff nobody knew that they were bi or LGBT. Of course they didn't, because they wouldn't have had the power that they had
Mm-hmm.
they known, because they'd have been ostracized.
Mm-hmm.
That's why they were able to get away with what they got away with, because they were stealth.
Right. Okay. So think about what they said about the part where they talked about Bill Clinton. They talked about the guy that just got murdered in that.
Yeah,
Jeffrey Epstein.
Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein. Well, one of his favorite people was Donald Trump too, right? So, you know what I'm saying? I mean, the apple ain't falling too far from the tree on this stuff. But what was his main thing? Is taking young girls, 12, 13 years old, into his place and grooming them.
Right.
Donald Trump was caught with, they said, a 13-year-old. The reason why a lot of these people, if you think about even the movement of when it comes to the political side of that, those people, the insurrection, all the different stuff that's going on, they don't want they crap out, basically. They don't want it out because too many of them know each other's secrets and they know what's going on. And if one person talks, it's gonna start opening up everywhere. Those people don't want their stuff to get out. That's why they don't want to talk about the insurrection. They don't want to talk about this and that and the other. A lot of them are guilty of the same thing. They really are.
Yeah, they all are. And the whole thing of it is, like I said, with the documentary itself, a lot of stuff that they were saying and carrying on as far as the destruction of the Black family. I do understand, and I get it. I understand and get how they're looking at Hollywood, and how Hollywood is always trying to get the Black man in a dress. No, it's not just the Black man. They're trying to get men, period, in dresses. Okay, and again, for the sake of this movie, I know they're not trying to emphasize our white counterparts or whatever who has done it, okay, without any problem or hesitation or whatever. but they're focusing on black masculinity. And here's the thing. Now, I'm glad that there was a definition given to black masculinity.
Uh-huh.
No, let me correct it.
It
What they
is.
gave was the definition of white masculinity.
Oh, what? Yeah.
That,
Well, how they feel? How they feel? Our men are.
yeah, well,
Yeah.
how they felt the army and are, but also that white masculinity was supposedly how what the girl said
Used to
that
do
they could still be
more like.
straight.
Right.
They,
Right.
they could
Okay.
still be straight but they could have gay sex and not be considered gay, And that there was what the brother what's his name, Wesley Muhammad, he called that black masculinity exposes the fraud of white masculinity. Okay, and when
Yeah.
in the clip, I thought that was derogatory. I'm like, what the fuck what is he saying? But in that, when he gave the definition that okay, white masculinity is under this umbrella that they could just do anything and yet still keep their masculinity intact. Okay,
Right. Because remember, he showed the part where the guy was messing with the other man in his butt.
right,
And
right,
he's saying that when a black white man, as long as he's the one, the aggressor of everything,
right,
he's still a man.
right,
Where they're taking that away from the black man.
right, right, and then it's
So they're
also
demasculizing the black man to prove that they still have the masculinity, because
exactly.
they can't go toe to toe with the black man on their own
But
strength. They always got to have a beat down and all of that.
now, here's the thing, because see, this is something that a lot of folks don't understand. Because see, that particular mentality still spills over into us today.
Yes.
Because like now, you'll hear the term top and bottoms all the time. And see, this is an inside joke for us because we'll see two feminine gay guys together and they'll say that they're a couple, or how we even see it in the movies and TV. You see two overtly effeminate men and they would make them a couple in a lot of these damn movies and TV shows and shit. And we're like, that ain't real. Where's the damn man at? Where's the man? Bitch, y'all dyking. That's two women right there. We say that amongst ourselves. Now,
So
I
I
learned
have I have a question, me. I have a question. I told you I don't know about all
baby,
that.
I love it.
I have a question. So, okay, so two women, right? And because I got some in my family, and the one of my nieces is very masculine. Like her hair, she just got the whole, the whole dude look and
Right.
all that, right? But she goes with a girl that has now mind you, she's had 4 kids of her own, so I'm still trying to understand how all that works, because you're having babies, but yet you saying this is your life.
Right.
But anyway, but the girlfriend that she's got is really like the boom boom and all of that girl. So she's obviously the man in the situation, right?
Well, what we'll say is this: she is they call it. Well, now we got new terms now because they're called the masculine identified lesbians, honey. Okay, or the aggressive girls, the AGs, honey. We got Millies and Phillies, the masculine identified and the feminine identified lesbians. So we got Millies and Phillies, or the AGs. And now we used to call the very feminine lesbian lipstick lesbians because they're very girly and this, that, and the other. But I don't know if that's still the correct term nowadays. But oftentimes, believe it or not, what you see and what is presented is one thing. What they do sexually is a whole different thing. And I think that's where the conversation is. Because oftentimes what is being seen often allows people to make up what they think is going on in the bedroom because of heteronormative narratives. Okay, we know a man and a woman supposed to. The man is this, the woman is that. Okay, now when you see this along in outside world, you may see a stud. That's what we generally call them, studs, with a very feminine girl, and so she's very masculine, active. She dressed like a boy, and this, that, and the other. She's not identifying as trans because most does still, they accept the fact that they're women. They just, they're just very tomboyish, very masculine, identified women. And so so when you see that, because of how we're raised, it is always thought that, oh, okay, well then you must be the man and you must be the woman. And oftentimes we still want to use that particular verbiage because that's all we know. But in alphabet relationships, child,
That's all we
the
know.
whole thing is that there is no, but we both women up in here. Okay. Now it's all
Uncle
about
Meech.
what we do to please
Okay.
each other. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it gets lost, the
Okay.
translation gets
Okay.
lost, because what you think is going on may not be what's going on.
Uncle Meech.
Right.
Yeah.
I know what
Explain to
Amy said.
Dr.
I
Facey.
know.
Explain to Dr. Facey what a bodega is.
Child, a derogatory term, honey.
I know.
See,
Yeah,
back in the day, the bull
That's
dagger
an
was
old term.
always the ones
Yeah.
that were and they were white lesbians who always were in corduroy pants and plaid shirts with that damn butch haircut.
The country girl, the old country girl.
Oh
Just
my God! Okay, looked like she
I
carried,
know. I lived around it.
she looked like she carried sacks of potatoes and she drive a damn truck.
Pam Grier, that movie with Pam Grier and Foxy Brown. Remember the girl in the bar was wearing the corduroys and she had the short haircut, and that was the bodega.
Yeah.
Right?
And
that's a very old term.
And if she was a truck driver for real, then they called her a diesel dyke. That's where the term diesel dyke come from. Okay, she was a truck driver, and it was diesel fuel, of course. Okay.
So Amy says that Amy, first of all, I'm sorry because I don't mean to offend anything in what I'm saying, because like I just said, I don't really know, and you're right, because I don't know the categories and stuff, and so
no,
no,
honey, this is why this is delicious, because you are somebody with a traditional Christian upbringing who have been shielded from a lot of this. You know what I'm saying? In a lot of regards. So you're not going to know this. You're not going to know, which means that everything that I'm saying is foreign, because anything to contrary to what you believe is going to be, well, oh my God, what, it's going to be that. So us being the alphabet children, we can't necessarily attack you and say you're homophobic, because your world and your bubble has only been so much. You know what I'm saying? Just like we tell white folks, you can't say all blacks are this way and all you know is just Joe from down the street. You ain't been in a whole black community. You don't know.
My one black friend.
Right. You don't know the culture. Okay. So it's this, we say it's the same language. The semantics may be a little different because of who we're dealing with as people are concerned, but it's the same thing. And so we have to address these things in areas and look at it from out of the same prism. Okay.
They have a lot of terms, and I'm gonna read off these. You have gay, bear, androphilia, femme, genophilia, asexual, autosexual, bisexual, pansexual, polysexual, schizoleosexual, straight alley, androgynous, genderqueer, agender, gender non-binary, lesbian, Libras, neutrosses,
non-conforming.
Yeah, intersex, transgender, aromatic, gray romantic, lithoromantic, and demi-romantic, and polyamorous. Is a lot of terms. That's what they call the alphabet.
And all of that. See, all of that. That's on. And they were saying that they had put that list up in the documentary, and it pissed me off because what was it? Was it Joe Brown that said up there and said that? Well, they got all these different terms for gender. It was him, and I'm like, no, that's not gender. What those are the different types of sexualities that everybody falls into. Okay,
but you can't. But it's just like with me. You have patience with me because I'm saying I really just don't know.
Right.
He's on a documentary but he's old school and he really probably just don't know.
He don't want to know, and I've had conversation with him.
Oh,
Okay,
have you? Okay.
oh honey, I've been in conversation with him, and one of the things I take into account of his generation.
Mm-hmm.
I take
Mm-hmm.
that into account because times have changed, and
Mm-hmm.
some folks just ain't gonna change. Okay, they ain't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, look at it now. Look at my generation of
How
alphabet.
old is he? How old is he about? He's probably
He
in his
he's like my
like
a little
75,
older. My mother just turned 71, so he's like in his
75.
70s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he ain't gonna change.
So I'm looking at my generation and these new generations because all those terms he just read, I teach that sexuality, human sexuality is on the spectrum. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
You have hetero on one end, homo is the polar opposite, bi is in the middle. But in between each particular space, you got all these different things that can easily blur because now we have exact interpretation because somebody don't fit neatly in this box and somebody don't fit neatly here and somebody don't fit neatly here, and then as we age and as we progress and carry it on, everybody wants to be seen for who they are implicitly. So now we have all these different categories that between hetero and bi, you got all this stuff that plays into it before you just say, okay, no, I identify as bi. Then between bi and gay, then you got all this in between. And
Mm-hmm.
with the child, if you blow hard enough, you're gonna smudge the line. Okay.
You know, I know somebody. I
And
know somebody who tells me he loves the loves. He just like loving, but he has relations with men mostly, but will turn around and get angry at you and call you a faggot.
right. And see all of that is all
And call
still
you a faggot? Is
yeah.
Yup.
that what you said?
He
Oh.
he has relations with men mostly, at least 80% of the time. But if he get mad at you, he'll call you a faggot.
Right.
So I
Okay.
don't understand.
Right.
But he said he
I
just
mean,
loves loving.
well, okay. I guess you really couldn't even take that personal because that's just like in a husband and wife relationship when you get mad at your husband or get mad at your wife and you call her a bitch. You may not really mean she a bitch, but when you get mad, you say it.
Right. But those
I
become
mean,
because those are
But he literally,
go-to terms.
but he
yeah,
has
yeah, that's
relations
the
with
anger
the
term. He
same
just
sex,
angry.
but it's quick to gay bash. Now I don't understand that.
Well, the whole thing of it is just that he feel comfortable with doing it and feel
Yeah,
safe in his space.
yeah,
And this
and
that
it's
and
a
the other.
respect. It's a loss of. It's just like I mean, it really is no different than having a regular relationship with somebody and you getting mad and calling them
Right
out their name.
out
It
the
ain't no
name.
different.
Let me see. Okay, Amy said, "Well, I think the term homosexual wasn't really even developed until more 18th or 19th century. Many relationships were labeled as gay until more recent history because gay wasn't what people thought it then thought. Some of these terms were invented to categorize and separate the masses to further an elite agenda, my opinion from recent readings. You know what? Here's what it is. Now, the whole idea of the term gay was stolen because the word actually
The
means
word actually means happy.
okay. So what ends up so we as a community we end up gravitating to that word, you know, to change the narrative for us. Okay.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
to have a healthier relationship with the word and this, that, and the other. Now I don't know when we got into it or whatever. All I know is that soon um it was a term of endearment. Then it started to become derogatory. Oh, you're gay, you know, and
Hmm.
et cetera, et cetera. So, and believe it or not, folks had got upset about the word being usurped by the alphabet children because they were like, no, that was a beautiful word, honey. In fact, that the hell is in the Christmas Carol. You know, what's
Hmm.
the Christmas song? Gay.
Right. Gay
It's part of
tidings of great
you know
joy. Yeah.
and things. So a lot of that is
Wait,
people that got
bubble
upset because
wrapping over
of huh. So yeah, And here's
I
this.
was messing
You
with him.
know
I said, "What you bubble wrapping something?"
okay. You
Oh
know
no,
that the
I want
download.
to get something because this is interesting. I want to see what Webster says about this. The Merriam Dictionary, and I
Okay.
want to look at one term. And give me a second. Where is it? A.
The word gay?
I'm looking at. Oh, this is going to be interesting because I want y'all.
Well,
And
you
I'm
know
going
it's
to read it from what
changed. Oh,
Webster
yeah,
says.
yeah.
Now,
That
where?
word has changed. It should have maybe 2 or 3 different definitions.
Well, the word dike means a bank of earth
Yeah,
constructed to control water.
yeah, like a dam. Yeah,
And
Right,
yeah.
right. Yeah, yeah.
let me say,
And you know,
gay
fags. A
is
fag
a
is a
cigarette.
cigarette, and a faggot is a plank of wood.
Right. That's right. So how
Yeah.
do you? Okay. Uh,
So how do they become derogatory
but that
terms? I have no clue.
If people knew exactly what they were saying, they and gay,
that's like the word
merry,
nigger.
bright,
Really.
lively, brilliant in color, given to social pleasures, uh,
Mhm.
licentious, homosexuality, or relating to or used by homosexuals.
Right,
So this is what this dictionary is saying.
right, but you see what happened though. You got down to like definition number 4 or 5 before you got to that.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yep.
Because
And
it
then
was
you got
that.
me. Who is Miriam?
Okay, right.
Yep.
Hello.
Okay, Amy says you know
So
that
anyway,
Let's look at that one. Hold on. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give
she
me
said
one
you
second.
know the down low isn't a common term in white community. No, it isn't. And that there, see again, when HIV/AIDS hit, the term down low became that was to ostracize black men and carrying on and to vilify black men and also to give them a space. See, again, a lot of what when this documentary talking about the church and black folks have always accepted and been tolerant of gays. No, you haven't, because the down low culture. Oh, we didn't call it back then. We back in the day, oh, I fuck around, it was all that kind of thing, oh, I handle my business. It was all of that. And
but
it was
you always assume when a man said that, you always assumed as a woman, you always assumed that meant he was out getting other girls. You didn't
with other
really
girls.
assume.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And it was a double
And guess
entendre.
what? You won't believe this.
What?
The Merriam-Webster dictionary does not have the name Merriam in it.
Okay.
How
So
about
because of that, that there became another weapon to vilify the black community. And then what ended up happening was that the down low was supposed to be derogatory and harsh and cruel. But then it ended up taking on a culture life of its own. Because see, now it became fashionable to be DL.
Mhm.
That was the
Hmm.
whole. Oh, I'm DL. I mean, how in the hell you DL and you on the damn site? You got your picture up here, but you DL. Really? Okay. So then they started to redefine it to where it has tentacles
Look,
and
it's too
started
much for me.
it entirely. Okay. What you say? And white men are closeted as if they are in they are fine suit hanging up, waiting for the right man. But black men are on the down low as if they are filthy, acting sinfully. Girl,
She
drop
ain't
mic,
Okay,
never heard.
mic drop.
Amy, put it right there. Amy put it right there because that's exactly what they were basically saying in that movie. They didn't use those terms, but that's
Right,
what they were talking about.
right. And that was the double standard, because the closeted white men, honey, they were closeted,
Hmm.
this, that, and the other. It was always, and this is the other thing. It was always they were able to.
They were your Jeffrey Epstein and all of them.
Yes, 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 yes.
A very good movie, a series to watch. You can find it on YouTube. You can find it through Google. Is Trapped in a Closet with what's that child's name?
Not the
Why
R.
can't I
Kelly
think of his
thing.
name? Trapped in a Closet with what's that
But
man's name? I can't think of his name. I
that was
can't
the
call
R.
it.
Kelly thing. You're not talking about his
R.
music.
Kelly. Trapped in the Closet.
Uh-huh.
and that whole series of stuff
That whole
was
series of stuff,
very interesting.
I believe it told. Now that we have what came out about him, I believe that whole trapped in the closet thing was him trying to tell his own story, and nobody believed it was him.
Right.
If
I
you look
agree.
at it, because that was very interesting. I was like,
Okay,
oh
that
my
makes
god,
sense.
and he basically, I mean, even with telling his
Because of
story,
his own, because of what he went through himself.
right.
Yeah.
Personally, I find it
Yeah.
offensive to call someone the man or the woman in a homosexual relationship because it's assigning heterosexual constructs to the relationship. But and you know what? And you're right. But the thing of it is that we have allowed, because we don't know relationship to be any other way. That there is to help folks understand it. You know, when I came out to my
Mm-hmm.
at 16, that was her last question to me. You know, well, are you the man or the woman? And that still tickles.
Oh, good.
It
It is
still
kind of
tickles
funny when you
me.
think about somebody asking you that, like, okay,
You
but
know,
I can see it.
but
I mean, if it
but
was my son, I'd probably want to know.
here's where it is though, because like they said in the documentary, see, the onus of being the gay one is always the one who's receiving. Okay, and it's like
Yes.
they're coming back from that. As long as you
Mm-hmm.
the giver,
The masculine
okay,
one.
of the top,
Mm-hmm.
then you're the masculine one, assumably, okay, and carrying on, and you still the man. So it's always considered that as long as you're on the top, that your masculinity is still intact. You don't want to be a girl because everybody think that those men who on the bottom want to be women. No, I just like that.
Mm-hmm. I
Okay.
think that, but I think that it's almost like, I guess the if I was going to look at it, and it's kind of hard for me to imagine all of that because I'm not
Okay.
that's not my lifestyle. But I guess if I was thinking and thinking about it in a man and woman relationship, and women ain't always on the bottom,
Right. Exactly.
you
Exactly.
know. So I don't
Exactly.
know.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think it's one of those things that probably I don't think it needs to be discussed. What you do is what you do.
And you
I
know what?
mean,
And a lot of that, well, here's where I don't think it needs to be discussed in public. I think what happens
Right.
is that those are personal conversations
Yeah.
that you have with whoever you want to be
Who
sexual
you with?
with,
Yeah. Yeah.
and y'all
And I
have an
think that's in all
understanding.
relationships, whether they're
Exactly. Now, what
the
happens
people,
is that we have to understand that sexual education has to include all this, but now we have to find space to where we're given permission to learn all of this, and it's not coming from a place of hate. And I think oftentimes is that we lose that element because everybody trying to do something to throw it at you to give you a gotcha. You know, they want to shock you and they want to do it. And that's not what this is. Like the BDSM community, they talked about that in the movie when they said, "Well, the white folk here, they like to choke themselves," and they showed the guy with the mouth restraint on, you know, the gagger and
with the
stuff.
thing in his mouth. Yeah.
Yeah, that there is the BDSM community, the bondage leather, the bondage and discipline, sadomasochism community. That community, that itself is okay. It takes a little bit to get into or whatever because what everybody have in their head. Oh, you like to get beat, you like to get whipped and beat with chains and all. You know, they make
like,
all that in their
do
head.
you think? Do you think that's borderline? I mean, I want to say it, so I'm going to say it. This is that borderline kind of demonic. You want hooks put
No,
in your
no,
skin and
no,
hanging. I
no,
mean,
no,
I don't
no.
understand.
No, and a lot of folks want to attribute it to that. And when let me not say no definitively like that, because everything has a good and a bad in it. If you take it there, yes. If you
Okay.
take it
I was
there,
gonna
yes.
say that because
Okay.
yeah, I was
But
gonna say that too.
everything has a good and a bad in it. And when you're in playtime or whatever, the goal is the sub is the one that's in control because nothing happens without permission. Okay. And you can't go no further without me
Yeah,
giving you my permission. Okay. Same with women.
yeah. I had a right, right. I had a foster daughter, and this is really, really sad. And this is kind of goes back to what they were talking about in that in that movie. I had a
Mhm.
foster daughter. She was a little Indian girl. I had three sisters. They were three sisters
Oh
when I was
wow.
in Washington State, and the father they took the kids from the mother and the father. The mother was a she was on drugs and stuff,
Mhm.
and the father was a lived up in the mountains, and he would go and get like what do you call them when they go when a person's they running from the law and you go bounty. He was a bounty
Bounty
hunter.
hunter.
Okay?
Okay.
He was a bounty hunter, and so they was trying to give the girls back to the father. He was supposedly getting his life together and all this kind of stuff. And so I had them maybe about 5 or 6 months, and then they were like, "Well, we're going to have to take the girls. They're going to go back to live with their father." Now,
Uh-huh.
the oldest, I had the three girls and my own three kids, and so all of them were like at the same ages. The two youngest were the same age, and so the day that they were supposed to leave, the night before, the little girl, the oldest sister, knocked on my door in my room, and I was laying on my bed, and she said, they called me Auntie Marla. She said, Auntie Marla, can I come in and lay in your bed? Now that's off limits as far as foster, you know what I'm saying, period.
Uh-huh.
But I had my
Uh-huh.
covers on, and she wanted to lay on, and I said, well, you can lay on the bottom of the bed, at the feet of the bed. She said, I just want to talk to you. I was like, okay. So she said, I don't want to go back and live with my dad. And I was like, well, they've already made the decision in court. You got to go because that's their
Mhm.
decision to send, and I said, as much as I don't want you to, you're going to have to go. And she just started crying. And I'm like, oh my God, what's the matter? And she said, I can't go back because my dad, he does these things to them. And I'm
Uh-huh.
like, oh my God. I said, well, why didn't you say something to the social worker before? And she was like, I didn't think we'd ever have to go back. And
Wow.
I begged that social worker. The next morning I called. I begged that social worker not to let those girls go back to him. I got a call about 4 months after they had sent those girls back.
Oh, don't say it.
The baby girl got killed. They
Oh.
suffocated her during sex. She was 6 years old. I was through.
Oh.
And it's like this. So when you ask those questions, does that stuff become satanic? That's where the mind is. That's not
Yeah.
necessarily a heart problem. That's a
Right.
mind thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know
And
that's a mind thing.
Okay.
it's those kinds of things where we have those who are staunchly against it. That those are the images that they have. That's what they're trying to protect children from. And I
Hmm.
get it wholeheartedly. I do. I understand it. At the same time, because of those instances being so far and few in between, a lot of folks
Hmm.
don't hear anything else. You understand? They don't want to
Right,
hear it. They don't
right,
open their mind to the rest of it. They're stuck here,
right.
you know.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
that's what the battle is because the whole idea. At least I'm one of the people that's on the front line to say, listen, I hear you because that's the same thing we fighting against. Okay,
Hmm. Right.
yes, culture. This is a culture, honey, and we're trying to. We're not asking to go mainstream. We're not asking you to necessarily accept it. Those who come into this are into it because there's a whole education process. There's steps to this, you know.
Hmm.
Mhm.
So those who want in is who are allowed in. It's exclusive.
Hmm.
At the same time, we have to have our own protections because we don't know who is going to spaz out or whatever, you know,
Right, right.
because even though we have safe words, and like I said, the submissive one is usually the one in control because if I give the safe word, honey, then that means stop. Everything stops. But then you got
Hmm.
those who end up where I say, depending on how you're acting, may
It's
get a
just
little
like a
spaz.
husband. It's like a husband and wife
Yes,
or a boyfriend and girlfriend.
yes,
You can be raped by your own spouse or
yes,
by somebody else. If you say no, it's no, no matter
exactly.
who you are.
And we get into those particular things, and so I get it. And a lot of the pundits out there, I hear their arguments, and I'm with them whenever they present those particular arguments because there's merit. Okay, now when you got your
Hmm.
merit, you got your merit. Then when you start adding in the fodder onto the merit, that's where I have a problem. Okay, Amy says it's easy to get lost in all of those terms, especially because we are just finding correct terms for sexualities and genders that have always existed, which is true. And we had colorful umbrella terms like the term androgynous was an umbrella term for gender nonconforming, and this, that, and the other, all the other terms that have broken out from that. We used to call it androgynous. Okay, is the only thing that has actually changed is the demantling of religious and political oppression to allow room at the table for everyone. That may be true. I like that. Okay. At the end of the day, though, it costs nothing to mind your own business. Huh? Well, there you have it. Okay.
Well,
And there
what's
you
Amen.
have
that take? 6 months. It takes 6 months for me to mind my business and 6 months to leave yours alone.
How about that? And you have a year, honey. And then repeat. Okay.
Amen. And amen. Repeat
Fag,
the next year.
mother of sticks. Also, what was used to burn people at the stake. No coincidence, I'm sure. Exactly. Okay. Okay, what you say? That part.
Right.
Ha. Okay. That was deep because it was, child. Hey, come on now. Me, that even though I find it offensive, I understand that we are in a period of growth as society, and we just have to help people understand in those teachable moments regarding same sex gender roles. Yeah, you know it. I know, and that's why my platform existed. That's one of the reasons because I used to say this all the time, especially in my younger days. I would have court like this at work or wherever I was. Because if somebody came up to me and had general and was genuine with their questions,
Mm-hmm.
I would answer anything they wanted to know, that I could answer.
Mm-hmm.
But if I knew they were asking me just to be assholes about it, I would give them an asshole answer. Okay,
Right.
because you're not asking me because you're trying to get in my business. You just being,
The
just
whole ball. You're right. The whole ball of the game is everybody has their own vices, whether they be what I agree with or not.
hello.
And
I like
and
how
when
you
we
put
when
that
we
right.
and when we look at life and stop judging people, see, your character is who you are and what makes you who you are. Yeah, if your character is nasty and bad, I don't care whether you're gay, straight, whatever, whatever, whatever. Your character is bad, regardless. You know what I'm saying? But if your character is good, then you take the good things, you work with the good things, you love the person through whatever, and keep it moving. I really don't see the big to do with it all. I really don't. At this point in my
Okay.
life, I just don't. I don't feel like it's nothing to, I don't feel like it has to be, glamorized one way or another. It's like, if this is who you are, that's who you are. I'm going to, me, myself, I'm going to love you for who you are and be done with it. All the other antics, I don't even care about.
And you said something there that I think is the proper word, glamorize, because a lot of the sensationalism that we're getting with this newfound sexual education is all about glamorizing it, not normalizing
Hmm.
it. It's glamorizing it,
Yeah,
and trying to
yeah,
make it seem that, oh my God, you're not this unless you're not cool unless you're this over here, bells
right,
and sparkly sparkles, okay,
right,
jazz
right.
hands, okay. And so because of that there, and I really believe that is the part that the I'm gonna say the pundits and that the pundits are saying as far as what is on the agenda, you know, and far as
Hmm.
I'm trying, you're stuffing this down our throat kind of thing because
Hmm.
sparkle, 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 sparkle. And then to the credit of, like the dude say, I'm a heterosexual man. I
Hmm.
want a woman. I want to have a family. There's nothing wrong with that. I didn't want nothing to do with no man, but say, hey, brother, go on about,
Right.
and there's nothing wrong with that. And I totally agree with that.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
totally agree. There was something in there where the girl was talking about the transgender thing, and that goes back to, I think, who was it? Was it Genuine? One of the little people was on a transgender talk show on something, and he sat up there and told the girls, okay, that he wasn't into trans. Okay. And they were trying to get him to get a kiss from him and this, that, and the other. And it was all in fun and jokey jokey. And he
Hmm.
So, he said, no, 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 I'm good, I'm good. Well, then what ended up happening was then the whole big old thing came on the internet that he was being transphobic.
Oh, wow.
How can I be transphobic? And I just told them I'm not into trans women like that. I'm not into that. That's not me. You know?
Right.
So no. And it wasn't done any kind of malice. He didn't cuss the girl
Right.
out. He didn't do nothing. He just said, no, that's just not my thing.
Right.
This is what I tell straight folks all the time, because I tell them, I said, you don't got the gate, you don't have to bash nobody in the head. I tell the men all that. If a dude come up to you and if he's respectful, I'm like, damn, I think you are an attractive guy or whatever, you ain't got to sit there huffing, puffing on, nigga, what's wrong with you? It don't take all that. Just say, hey, that ain't my bag. Oh, my bad, bro.
That's
Okay.
not my bag.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
it doesn't require you huffing and puffing. That's what I tell my straight friends.
Right.
And I
Because I've even as a woman, I've been accustomed to.
right. And so,
Yeah.
but a man's masculinity is threatened when another man come on. So in order for him to be hard or to be masculine and to assert himself, then he got to act a fucking fool. And that there ain't cool. And just like in this situation,
Right.
he said there and
Yeah.
told the girls, I'm not
Right.
into trans like that. Not sexually, we could be cool, but I'm not into y'all like that. And then it became a whole big to-do, and I did a whole thing about that. I said, y'all barking up the wrong tree. Literally. This ain't got
Right.
nothing to do with him being transphobic or nothing. And then I get on our white counterparts because this here is white is white alphabet soup. Okay. Because ever since, and y'all, I will say this until God calls me home. Ever since we had the white lesbians who wanted to sue the cake baker for not baking their cake for their wedding, ever since then, we have
Mhm.
been having what has been known as hate speech. Oh, you spouting hate speech. My community did that and made it what it is now. Okay?
Mhm.
And it's wrong. I'm telling you it's wrong. Because now
Mhm.
you have made a mountain out of a molehill that ain't got nothing to do with nothing.
Right.
Especially when we got all these damn folks in the community who would love to have baked that damn cake. As much as we
My
complain,
husband and I talk about that all the time. We talk about
as,
that all the time because that's one of the things I'm like, if it's just like a preacher. And if you come to me and say, hey, would you marry me and my male partner? I have a choice in the God, what I feel in my heart, what I want to do. If I tell you, hey, I'm just not into marrying two people, that's not what I want, what I believe in, then don't get mad. Just go find somebody that will. I don't really
and we
understand. And
gotta
just like, just the same way
wait.
it could be a man and a woman, and I say I don't want to marry you until you have counseling with me, and they choose
Boom.
not to do that. Go get married by somebody else.
Boom.
It's not
Now
a problem.
let me give you this. Let me give you this because see now and I've said this before too. I was a part of a church, Unity Fellowship Church movement, honey, and I love Unity. I end up I left because my spirituality had outgrown where they were, and they were still bringing. All the new babies were still coming in who had to come to grips with understanding God is love and love is for everyone, and those who's had to learn how to say God and gay in the same sentence without it being dastardly. They still had to learn that. I had matriculated out of that, so it was time for me to graduate and move on. Um,
Hmm.
but one of the things of the church is that if you're professing to get married, because it's LGBT affirming, then you had to undergo a year of marriage counseling. Okay.
Hmm.
Well,
Hmm.
the children got upset. Why are you mad? Because they said that you got to go through a year of marriage counseling, and you're saying that you want to commit the rest of your life to this
With that
person.
person.
You can't give
Right.
a year. You can't give a
Mhm.
year so that within this year's time, y'all get the planning, y'all could this and y'all could this. Y'all ain't thought about that. Y'all mad because he can't marry you right now. So you can have bragging rights to say, oh, we married and all that old bullshit. No, bitch. No. That ain't what this is. That ain't what this is. We ain't playing with this.
Right.
And I
Because
said,
you're held accountable as a minister, you're held accountable
yes.
for who you do or don't marry.
Oh, but
And you
wait,
know,
no. Oh, but wait.
so
What
yeah.
they would do. Oh, girl. And this is what got me. What they would do is during gay pride, and this is in Michigan, during gay pride, they would have a minister at
Mhm.
have a little like a little tent or whatever, and
Yeah.
have a little Vegas like wedding. They have a little minister and the children to come up with their little suit on or whatever, and because it's pride, of course they're gonna have witnesses because everybody out, you know, and carrying on. And so they let the little minister do them a little commitment marriage ceremony right there so they could say that at least they had a commitment ceremony and things because we wasn't legal to get married then. So then they had their little commitment ceremony at gay pride so they go around and tell everybody they got married. So they walking around with rings. I'm like, girl. And then 2 weeks later, y'all talking about, oh, I'm getting divorced and this. Bitch, bye. No, and don't nobody pay.
Marriage is not a circus. It is a permanent binding
That's
contract.
That's a
for
covenant. Yes, it's a covenant.
you
And
believe in.
I totally believe in what it's supposed to stand for, which is why I don't play with that. Which is why relationships, I say, but see, we as humans, we've got to get around the mental psychosis of it. Because
Mhm.
when we say the word I'm in a relationship, I don't know why relationship becomes congruent with ownership because
Right.
now we say that's mine, and so then we start to treat them as if they're property and
Mm.
objects, you know, and then
Mine, mine,
we
mine,
start
mine,
checking
mine.
their phones, which I don't understand why we are in the culture that says I got to check your phone in order for me to know that you love me. That don't make no motherfucking sense to me. Okay,
That sounds like slavery.
phone. What the fuck?
That sounds like
That sounds
slavery.
like a lack of trust. It's not either one of them.
Why do I got to have the code to your phone? Okay, that's okay. Anyway,
Those are marital. Those are issues that people have because of lack of trust.
exactly. What you say, Amy? Please, sex education doesn't even include sex in most classrooms. How the fuck are we going to teach them all the correct terminology? Point well taken.
But it shouldn't anyway, because I don't think it belongs inside the school at young ages anyway. If you're going to teach something
No,
like
I don't believe that either. What
so
I do believe is
I mean
that
reproductive stuff maybe like
reproductive stuff, yes,
but
that stuff, yes, but at the same time, elementary and junior high school should be off limits. I think that's supposed to take place at the high school level because that's where you're going through your most changes, all your
but
hormones.
we're old school. But me,
You're right. You're
but
right.
we're old
It's
school.
taking place. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah,
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I know it's supposed to take place in high school, and that's traditional, and that's how it should be. But you have kids in elementary and middle school having sex.
well,
So then, what do you do?
here is why. And now because a lot of kids have gotten so precocious, we're with this technological age nowadays, honey. And I'm saying this because
But they've always been Meech.
but here's the thing, and that's what I'm saying. I am one of the precocious kids. Okay,
Mhm.
I was having sex at 8 years old. Okay, but
Ooh,
my
you naughty
babysitter.
boy.
Okay, well, I got turned out by my babysitter. Okay,
Oh,
yeah,
bad
I
babysitter.
got turned out by my babysitter, Valerie. Okay, me and Valerie, child, we were like mom and daddy. Okay,
Oh,
so at that,
Mama should have got another babysitter for you. Oh,
Mama didn't know. Okay, she didn't know,
she
and
gonna
I
beat,
didn't
now
tell
she's
her.
going to beat Valerie up.
Okay, she never knew that, and then of course I never told her because in my house I was still living with my daddy at the time. I was looking at porn with my dad because hell, my dad had porn around, and so he would go across the street with the new magazines, and I had the little magazine, And this is man training, and I see
Right,
this is
right. But
man
I was
training.
going to say, when I was
Okay,
growing up, I saw that stuff all the time in our house.
So now
Yeah, in
it
the
was
home.
okay because he just being a boy. As long as I was sitting and my daddy didn't know. Okay,
Mhm.
so all of that was supposedly man training. So I never told anybody. So by the time I was 10, my mother and father had broke up at the time. Now this is where it gets questionable because the girl in my prom picture, she and I were having sex, but we were made to have sex. by my mother's boyfriend because
I understand that.
he was trying to man me up because he saw me being a sissy. So
Mhm.
this whole thing, I don't know how they agreed to it, but he talked to both of our mothers, and the whole idea was this was supposed to man me up.
For
This
the
is a man thing. You understand?
When prom
So,
is the time to do it.
yeah. So that was me and her. Okay.
Mhm.
So that there again, man training, because for whatever reasons, again, and they said that in the documentary, masculinity has been equated to our sex.
Mhm.
Okay.
It doesn't surprise me because me and you are in the same age group, and that is the stuff that I went through with
Yeah.
in that age, in that time. Yeah, I went through that same thing. Getting married off just because
Just
that's the thing that
right,
we.
just because it was time, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so it was genuine. Okay, yeah, thanks. Okay, what you say? Those of us who have spent many years questioning ourselves and denying our sexual identity tend to represent the glamorizing trend that seems to be gaining momentum. Unfortunately, that end up making us look bigoted when we really just want to smack a teenager for being a haughty loudmouth.
Mm.
I
You
think with like
know
spirituality, sexuality is ever changing, always evolving, and it's just like spirituality. It's kind of, I mean, it's not the same thing, but
what?
those are one of the two things in life that is always evolving.
It evolves because it's fluid as we change. See,
Mhm.
and I tell it to folks all
But
the
that's
time.
everything. That's
Exactly,
everything. That's
exactly,
everything in our lives. I mean, we're not
exactly.
stuck to be stuck. You know what
Right,
I'm saying? We have to be evolving in every avenue. It's just
exactly.
like, and I'm just going to use an example for me. You reach at a certain age, and you go through those, just like you go through your puberty, and then you go through all them stages of life. That's
Right,
exactly how life is in general.
exactly.
Your body goes through all these stages. Your mind goes through all these stages. Your learning goes through all them stages. It's ever learning, no matter what stage you're in. If you stop growing, what does a non-growing person become? They
They,
get stunted and they become retarded.
right. What'd you say, Leah? Because they made a huge deal about it being transphobic when it wasn't. Yeah, you're right. And everybody jumped on that bandwagon with him, and I was so angry with that. And I was one of the few people uh who was like, no, get up off of him because y'all wrong for that. Y'all are wrong, and this here, that's not the fight, children. That's the wrong fight. That was
Right,
the wrong fight and the wrong light being shined on that. And then here you have, and they were all white trans girls. So they were white trans girls up on this black man. So again, now according to based on what the documentary is saying, this is another way of that buck breaker trying to break the spirit of the black man. You see what
right, right.
I'm
Because
saying?
he's supposed to like me because I'm I'm
Exactly.
I'm the white female. I'm
Because I'm
showing.
a woman and I'm a white trans woman now. So
Mhm, mhm,
and carrying on. And
mhm,
so that there is how they could derive to
mhm.
those conclusions, okay? And could say, okay, well, this is the bigger picture. And what that ended up turning into was nothing, honey. They turned that there was not what that was. And it was that was just unnecessary. It was unnecessary, totally. Amy says, my opinion, there's transphobic language, and then there's transphobic language,
And
and
then there's transforming glory. Yeah.
language. We established what anti-Semitism is by writing up a whole code about it. Why can't we do the same for transphobic language? Hate speech is just a flippant term anymore, and it shouldn't be. You know what? And you're right.
That's with everything. Come on.
And you're right
That's with
because
everything.
what had happened is all those flippant terms have become politicized
There you
because
go.
and that's why to say hate speech it becomes a whole political issue because now to say that means that the ACLU or some group, you're looking for some kind of group support, and now you're finna go rally for money and carrying on and get the troops all and it's unnecessary, child. It's unnecessary. And this is what I say this a lot because, and I get flack from a lot of gay people when I say sometimes you're trying to prove a point that don't need to be proven. You just
Don't need to be
shit to be
proved.
doing. You're trying to what
See,
point you trying to prove?
and
Nothing.
the only thing that we as people ought to be fighting for, honestly, is the rights to just be who we're going to be, and if and are the rights of Black people as a whole. If
Right.
more of, like, if the gay community, the homosexual, whatever the communities, whatever you want to call everything, put it all, if we all as a, and I'm not just because, Amy, I don't know if you Black or white, and I don't, it doesn't matter, but I'm saying if we all just came together and said, you know what, we're going to treat everybody as equals and part, of who we are. But it never was set out for it to be like that. And since
Exactly.
it wasn't set
I have
out
a
for it to be
question.
like that, huh?
I have a question. Do y'all remember when the trans female, she went into a McDonald's and she used the woman's bathroom and the women jumped on her and beat her?
Yeah. Yeah.
That happened here in Maryland, in Rosedale, Maryland. I remember
Yeah.
the girl Chrissy, who was the one who got beat up, the girl Kiana, who went to jail for beating her up, and the rallier Sandy, who tried to make it a whole trans thing. It was, I mean, okay, I understand she was trans, but the point is they ain't like her at first place. They was just being smart. And it
Yeah,
really didn't actually has nothing to do with her being trans, because I
right.
remember recalling the whole situation. I forgot what year it happened, but the girl blew her money on drugs, the trans girl, and the one girl had to go to jail, I don't know for how long, and Sandy was rallying, like trying to make it again, like we were talking about, something that did not have to be made into.
So
Right.
basically, that was a beef that she ran up
Beef,
on.
a regular beef,
Okay, that was a beef. It was like, okay, beat that bitch with a bat on sight, honey, because she fucked up
right,
my money.
right.
Okay, boom. Okay,
And I mean, and that's what I'm saying. Some things is just like, okay, if I got a problem with you, why can't it just be me and you got a problem?
right,
Why does it got to be I got a problem with him because he's gay or she's straight or she's this? We just have a beef. We don't get along. There's something we don't like about each other.
right.
But I think because of law, they gave her that money because
Yeah,
they
they
didn't
did.
want those problems. You know what I'm saying?
What
Right.
part of Maryland
And
you at?
the girl Kiana lived in my apartment complex, and the
Mhm.
girl Christy I knew from back in the day, and the girl Sandy I knew because she was a trans woman.
Are you up in Baltimore?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. I live down in Southern Maryland. I'm closer to the DC area.
Oh, really?
And so
Mhm.
someone on TikTok that I like, if you have an issue with trans women using your restroom because you're worried about a man in the dress assaulting you or your children, then your problem isn't with the trans woman, it's with men.
But you know
No, the
what? You know
problem,
they start
Amy, the
doing.
real problem is they need to go to the bathroom with their own kids and
How
make
about
sure that they,
that?
you
You
know
know
what I'm
what the real.
saying?
You know what happened because of that? Around 2000, I would say 2014, 2015. That's when in my clinic, in a lot of different places, they're making a half woman, half man. So this is a unisex bathroom. So they wouldn't have that problem. So all around
I really think all of
island
them
that
should be
they're
used
making
to
unisex
do it.
bathroom.
All of them should be anyway, because damn in hell, if one is full, I can go to the other one, because we do it at stadiums all the time. I've gone into the women's restroom when the men's was full or the men was just dirty. And then, child, sometimes you just have to do, women do it all the time. If there's too many women lined up and ain't nobody over here in the men's room, let me dash over here because I got to go. Now,
Right.
hell, if you at home, being at home, the house bathroom is always unisex. I don't care who in there. Everybody is only 1, 2 bathrooms up. Everything is unisex up in here. So,
Right. Right. I
okay,
mean, it's just really an easy fix. Lock your
yeah,
door, lock your stall door, and be done with it.
yes,
But
yes.
anyway,
I just want a word like Battlestar Galactica, wherever there's a freaking unisex bathroom and no one cares. Right. Okay, not Battlestar Galactica. Did you say Battlestar Galactica? Ha! Beady, 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 beady. Ha!
but listen,
This,
what about?
no. What you got, Doc?
I was gonna say, you were supposed to be getting on that Bill Cosby thing. I sure want to talk about him.
Oh, child. You know what? Yeah. Okay, let me do that because um the whole thing of it is with Bill Cosby is that y'all know they had denied his parole.
Yeah.
Okay. They denied his parole. And the reason, from what I'm understanding, is that
He
um,
refused. He
he
refused the
go to counseling to say
counseling.
that to go to the sexual abuse counselors or whatever the thing is, and he refused it because to do that would mean that he admits that he
He's
did it
admitting. He's admitting guilt. Yeah.
and guilt, and he said no because he maintains his innocence. And my whole thing is this: number one, y'all know y'all wrong as hell for that.
Right.
Okay, y'all wrong.
And he's 83 years old. Give me the freaking
Old
break.
as he is, y'all wrong for that. Y'all not why dangle a carrot in front of his face and then say no, we're gonna take it back. Then number two, and I've said this all the time.
I don't think he's guilty anyway. But anyway, I'm gonna
I
leave it
don't
alone.
believe that he's guilty of rape because
I
that's
don't either. That's the part I'm talking about. That's the part I'm talking about. Now
they
he's
want to say
guilty of sex.
he's guilty of rape. And no, because and I say it this way, and then let's look at the girl the one girl
The one girl, the one, the
who
one.
they said who they were
Constant.
able to use because her case did not run out of the statute of limitations.
Right.
A girl who was already paid off because you went to court once and got a settlement.
Right. Not only that, listen to me. She got on a show after he had got convicted and was in prison. She
Mm-hmm.
went on some news show. I can't remember what it was, but you could look it up probably. But she was talking about how Bill Cosby had came to her and brought two little blue pills to her and told her, "This makes me feel better. Why don't you take one?" Now, she said when the news person asked her, "Well, how old was you when that happened?" She said, "I was 31 years old." Okay, 31 and you took something that somebody else gave you, that's your fault. Number one. Number two, the little blue pill, being that, because that means he was in his 70s already. Or maybe late 60s, early 70s. The little blue pill could have been a daggum Viagra that ain't supposed to go in a woman's body.
Number
How
one,
about that?
number two, number three. And listen, all of those people
I'm so through with that.
up in here in doing Hollywood, and this is why I had a problem with all of this, is because my darling, the casting couch is real. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The use of sex is real. If you're trying to get ahead of the game, the use of sex is real. Okay.
In the military and any other job. Hello?
The use of sex is real. So, honey, for you sitting up there thinking that that he made a pass at you, okay, and this, that, and the other, you thought you could advance your career, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Had all of the people used the words, I was intimidated, I was coerced, I was uh, um, uh, fearful. I was
They didn't use none of them words.
you know, if any of those kind of words had been used when they said this, I'd unequivocally say he's guilty, hands down. They said rape. I can't rape the willing, honey, because he didn't. He said he handed you pills. He didn't put a gun to your head and said take them.
Right. Right. And
Okay.
you'd already been drinking.
And you had
And you'd
been
already been drinking.
And most of y'all came back.
Yeah. For seconds and thirds.
I
Must have been
think
good.
they made this a circus. And sometimes that happens. It could be a witch hunt where one person says, oh, they did something. And that person may be totally lying. And then, okay, yeah, he did something to me. He did something to me. It just was made into a circus. Now, I don't actually think that he actually raped this woman. I don't believe that. But when everybody else try to jump on the bandwagon because they know he had some money.
My thing is this.
Yeah.
There were all of the there was some who were quiet because I remember Jennifer Lewis said on the Breakfast Club that someone had came to her and said that Bill had touched her, or I think she used the word rape. She said the word rape, and she asked the girl, well, did she tell anybody this, that, and other? She said no, because she was frightened and she was scared and blah, blah, blah. But I don't know if that girl ever did anything. Okay. But for all of the girls who claim that he touched them, Okay, and then we got inappropriate. I never believed the word that came out of Janice Dixon's mouth because that bitch was she was high steel. Okay, I did not believe her at all. Everybody else, like I said, had they used the word, I was intimidated, I was coerced, I was fearful, or whatever. Any of those words, hands down, 100% yes, because something happened. I
Mhm.
just don't believe that he raped them.
I
Okay,
don't even believe he drugged them on purpose. I believe I believe he may have asked them, "Would you like this?" Because I mean, because you already know alcohol and drugs is a lot of times in these situations. So if he had some pills and he said, "Well, this stuff makes me feel better. You want to use it?" You're grown. You could say no. I mean, I've been to parties, I've been to things and said, "No, I don't want to do that because I don't want anything to mess my mind up. I don't want to be caught up in something I don't know I'm doing it."
right, and you were conscious of that because this is not like the date rape drug. Because those who had cocktails, those who were slip drugs
Right.
and
Right.
on and did not know what had happened, that's a whole different thing. That there none of
And
that
that's the
went
part
on.
that part right there. That part right there, Meech, that's where I'm talking. That's what frustrates me the most is you admitted that he handed it to you. When you hand something to somebody, what does that mean? I'm receiving it. That
I'm
means
just
I know that you're giving it to me.
right, right, and so
If
for
I'm
those
slipping something in your drink, then that means I'm going aside to the side somewhere. I'm opening up something and I'm
right,
slipping it in your drink. That was
and
not said.
so because of that,
But then,
I've always had a problem with a lot of that. Now I'm not saying that the women who have felt the pain and the remorse of all of that. I'm not saying that it ain't real because I think what had happened, guilt done set in some kind of way. They probably did not want that to
right,
happen. You know what I mean? They didn't want it to happen, but somehow, because it's happened to me in the fact that I've got myself in something, thought that I was grown enough to handle it, and then let them talk me into doing something I didn't want to do. Then when it was all said and done, I'm like, damn, the whole guilt done set in. I beat myself up and et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Uh
mhm,
wait a
I have
minute.
a story.
yeah,
Okay.
Um, I remember one time it was a person I knew. I was in a bar, and I remember them giving me a drink, and I woke up in the bed. It can
Uh-huh.
happen to men and women, you
mhm,
know.
mhm,
Here's what okay, I could have said no in a few situations, but it doesn't make it any less of an assault because coercion doesn't mean consent is given. Okay, now in that particular because that's what they were trying to go on the actual definition of rape by saying that any unwanted or any advance that has not been given consent is considered rape. And the whole thing of it is for this is me. That I feel is this. There were many times when you could have said no because at that particular point it wouldn't have been a sexual assault. It could have been just an assault, and then it would have been. I mean, it would have been considered sexual assault and not rape. The word that they're using is rape in this
right,
particular case. He raped these folks. Had they just said sexual assault, because that could be anything. He could have rubbed his hand upon my breast, just slapped me on the ass. It could have been all of that.
right,
And that's an ambiguous term. They are using the word rape.
right.
Okay. And then
And
and want to use the definition of it being the consent wasn't given. You had ample time to get away from this. And especially he was old too. You had ample time to get your young ass away from him.
and
And leave.
this particular girl was in his house. It went to his house where his wife was just not home right then. And you knew he was a married man. You went there. What did you go there for?
Right. And so a
And I'm
lot of
not.
times,
And Amy, I don't want to. Or one of y'all, Amy or Lee. I don't want to say horrible things because I have been in situations. I was like I said. I tell people I was a foster kid. I was given away to marry a man so he could have his way with me. So I know all about raping and having to go through that stuff. I understand. I'm not by any means saying that that person is, doesn't feel certain things. But I am saying that when you put yourself in situations and you just go and 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 then you got somebody else that's on the whole other spectrum like Weinstein that's done the same things that you saying Cosby done, and he's out on parole or out at his house living the life that he wants to live, and Bill
Right.
at 83 is locked up. I find that to be a problem.
Yeah. And
So
so, and
I'm
all
very
of it,
sincere about abusing people by
all
any
of
means. If I like I said, I've had that situation.
all of it. I'm gonna say all of it was. If it was done and you let yourself get talked into something, if you felt it was sexual assault, if you felt he raped him, if you felt that, this was the casting couch gone wrong, whatever it is, my whole thing is this. If you went up in there with a level headed mind and you did not leave with a level headed mind, then okay, whatever that was for you, I'm not going to lessen your experience, but I am going to say this: call a thing a
Right,
thing. Honey. If you would have been there and knew that you were on dastardly deeds, child, and now trying to get this man caught up because something went foul and wrong, then that's your fault. Okay, and
right,
now you just trying to
right,
break the system. If you for all the green children, because we got all the new babies all the time, as I was just asking our guest that was on him at the beginning of the show. You green, honey, how you coming up in here and have to protect your integrity and your dignity without getting caught up into
right,
something that you don't want to do? Because a lot of the cats, especially if you're a new actor, actors are carrying on, not knowing how Hollywood works, you think, oh, well, let me do this so I don't make a man, because I'm trying,
hmm.
you know, because a lot of
I'm
those
trying to get
parties are
that part. I'm trying to get that leading part. You know,
or not necessarily not just trying to get the part, but I'm trying to let them know that I'm happy. I'm not a prude. I won't, I'm not going to turn my back on it. I can handle myself. I'm not a baby, and carry
all of
on.
that. Yeah.
It's all of that, and those parties can be
Hmm.
very intimidating, so it's all of that. I know that every person on the panel is familiar with this realm. I'm confident in y'all's ability to understand the situation. I'm still activated in these kinds of discussions because of my own experiences being invalidated and dismissed by similar arguments. Oh, see,
Right.
yeah,
I
and,
understand. I
and the whole
understand.
thing of it is right. And in that, see, again, I would take that on a basis because there are some of the girls, and the sad thing is, and this is why I'm harping on it. The sad thing is that the ones who I believe had legitimate arguments, they had the statutes of limitations ran out
Hmm.
because those are the
Hmm.
ones that went the one time and didn't go back. You know what I'm
I didn't
saying?
go back.
Didn't go back.
Right.
They disassociated themselves with him, and they actually had stories. You know what I'm saying? And those are the
But the
ones who
one that
decided,
got caught, she had been there like 3 or 4 times. She said she
right?
had met with him on four
Yeah,
occasions. So it's
yeah.
like,
And that's what we
if
get to
you touch
when
me
we have
once
to
and I
raise
don't
your
want you to touch
eyebrow.
me, then huh?
And so for that, it's hard because those who got legitimate stories, you know, it's
Hmm.
cases like this where you have someone powerful, or better yet, just someone who's believable. You know, someone who's believable, and nobody wants to sit down there and believe that they have the characteristics to do this. Oh, you lying? He wouldn't do nothing
Yeah.
like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And carry
He
on.
was he was Cosby.
Yeah. And like they
You
said,
know.
a lot of folks got caught up in the character Heathcliff Huxtable and versus,
Right.
oh, this was Bill Cosby.
Right.
The Q
Right.
dog who joked about putting Spanish fly in folks' drinks back in the day.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
That's the
Hmm.
person and it became a whole big to do. But him being denied parole because he wouldn't take the classes, I think that's a farce. I think that's just it's sad. It is sad because And then looking at the case that they got him on, I'm sorry, the girl that they got him on, she was already paid off and things of that nature, and they kept that quiet. And I believe in her case, that was a payoff to keep her quiet because I think she pulled one of those particular stunts. And so because they went after him because they
Yeah.
wanted him to go down, they researched her case and found she's the only out of all of them girls, she was the only one whose statute of limitations was still intact. And that's what they used to take him down. That was wrong as
Right.
hell as far as I'm
And
concerned.
you got to remember, he was about to buy NBC. There are
Right.
some things that they wanted to take him down for just for being who he is. Because you look at some of the other ones like Harvey Weinstein. You
And when
know,
Harvey Weinstein over
they
NBC
didn't.
at one point, wasn't Harvey
Yes,
Weinstein
that's what I'm
over
saying.
NBC? Oh,
Yes,
wait a minute.
yes,
Wait,
he
wait,
was
wait,
going to
wait.
buy it from him.
Oh my God. Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
He
Oh my
he
God.
was going to
I
buy it from him.
just made that connection. I
Yeah,
just made that
yeah.
connection.
Hmm.
Oh Lord, wait a minute. See that's it. Oh my God.
And
Oh,
that's what and him being a black man, you used this situation for him to cut him for the rest of his life. You don't care if he
right.
dies in prison, but Harvey Weinstein, you let him, he's out and free,
And still
living
walking
the
on his
life.
right. And still and able to use his cane.
And they said he had even more, and he had more women and everything. And then you got people like, I'm not trying to be mean and coast no shade on nobody, but you have people like Oprah that's all up in Harvey Weinstein's face and dogging Bill Cosby.
Right. And that there I would love to get her to address that because what she did, she said, well, at the time I didn't know what was going on. And I halfway believe her, but then the halfway I don't because I believe her by saying I'm gonna say it this way. I think what it was, she didn't know what was going on because like everybody heard the rumors. They just didn't want to believe the rumors. You know what I'm saying? Everybody heard something, okay, about Weinstein. And I think that's the route she was trying to take. My whole thing is this
Well,
because of
that's because but don't you think it's because of owning her? I mean, in a sense, owning him, not owning,
owning
but well,
Harpo
like,
or King World or whatever, yeah. You know,
yeah.
not
If,
ruffling
if
feathers.
it's something behind that, how did I ain't trying to be funny, but you just use sex is real, and it's something that happens within to get to the next levels and stuff
Right,
like that.
right.
Sometimes there's already something old and something that you don't want that cat out the bag either.
Possibly.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just little old Marlo.
So are you saying because of this Harvey Weinstein situation, that's kind of how like the witch hunt started for Bill Cosby?
No.
Because of
What we're saying is they went after Bill Cosby instead of Harvey in the first place, and
Mhm.
then it just got overbearing because see, Miss Girl, what's her name from Charmed? She had been blowing him up forever, and nobody
Shannon Doherty,
believed her, huh?
Shannon Doherty, Alyssa
No,
Milano,
no, not Shannon, not Alyssa, the young
Exactly.
she the uh,
Rose McGowan.
that's it, Rose McGowan. She had been blowing him up. That's what she has when she left the show, when she left Charm and carrying on. She wasn't working all that much. She had been blowing his ass up, and nobody believed her.
Hmm.
Nobody believed her. And she kept saying, no, he's wicked. She did that. She did that. And she finally was able to get folks who had experienced that same thing, and they came here when Lupita sat down there and said, "Oh well, yeah, he came at me too."
Right. Right.
You know,
Look at Amy's comment, the one that she says, yeah, it's super. Yeah, that
yeah,
one.
but it's super common for allegations to show up whenever these people get a moment in the media or make it far in society. Brett Kavanaugh, Harvey Weinstein, Kobe Bryant, Anthony Weiner, etc. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Donald Trump. Let's
yeah.
not forget Donald Trump.
She was blacklisted forever because of her allegations. Yeah, Rose, she was, and she couldn't get work. You know,
Yeah.
and things of that nature. And it was sad because I mean, hell, I mean, look, what's the boy from B2K? Um, 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 not B2K. What's the little boy's name from the little black group? Not Omarion.
The one that played
Um,
like he was getting robbed.
No, what's the
Oh,
child's name? What's the little baby's name? Is it
he
B2K?
said no one will forget Donald Trump.
Uh,
Amy said nobody will forget Donald Trump.
Raz B. Raz B. That's it.
Oh,
Raz B. He was with the group with Omarion and all of them,
uh,
and he keep talking about the whole pedophile ring and how, the manager of the group or whoever he was having him and carrying on and making him do all these different things while they were
hmm
in the group, and all of that. He blew this whistle and things, and the whole gay ring of it is now under play and carrying on, and all of that, and it's just the beast. And going to equate all this back to the movie, the buck breaking, as far as
hmm
Corey Feldman, exactly. Corey been on. Oh my God,
Amy be knowing her people. She be knowing these people.
Corey has been on
mhm.
that bandwagon. That's
hmm
what you hadn't heard much from him in Hollywood. Corey been on that bandwagon for years. And he been on
Yeah,
that bandwagon since what, the mid '90s, early 2000s. He had
yeah,
been on that bandwagon for years, talking about how the Hollywood executives are treating the young boys because he
yeah.
was a child. And so to equate all this to the movie, the whole idea of buck breaking, it's more than just and like I liked it when the girl said no, it's more than just the sexual thing because everybody want to jump to the sexual thing,
It
but it's
ain't about that at all, though. It's not about that.
no, it's all about the entire spirit
Yeah,
of the black man and character. Corey Feldman created the bandwagon. I'll give you that because he did. I'll give you that.
yeah,
Yes, he did. The whole honey, and everybody thought he was crazy and thought that he was, or he was just jilted because he wasn't getting work and this, that, and the other. No, honey,
yeah.
no.
Well,
Okay,
it's just one of those things that I get frustrated when I see the disparity between the races. One person being treated one way for doing this. I mean, if you're saying they're doing the same thing, then why isn't the
right,
punishment? I
right.
think that I get upset with the lack of justice. Brett Kavanaugh still being able to be in the Supreme Court after something like that. Harvey Weinstein still walking around. Kobe's passed away, but I really didn't have a problem with Kobe because I felt like I still have a feeling of when you're my sister is one of those kind that would follow stars to foot. I mean, she had basketball friends
Uh-huh.
and she would always go to their games, and she had a little pro ball player at one time. And they're like varmints. You come to the city, they're just trying to be all up in, if you go to a man's room, I'm a woman, and I'm going to say this, and people may not agree with it, but when you go to a man's room at 3 in the morning, if I
Oh,
decided to go over there to your room at 3 o'clock in the morning, what the heck am I going for besides something like that?
besides, because you're not going to listen, it ain't one of those emergencies. Oh shit, I lost my
Right,
keys because I crashed on the couch.
right. Right.
Not tea and crackers.
So
Not
my
tea and
thing,
crackers.
Right.
huh?
Oh, he
What
said,
you
not
say?
Not tea and crackers.
Right, right. So and I'm just real. And a lot of people will be like, well, you're kind of like making it bad for other women. And I'm like, but see, I've always told my kids at a certain hour you need to be home anyway.
and you
So
need
my
to be
so
home.
you need to be home. And what's Medea say? At 2 o'clock in the morning ain't nothing open but legs, and so that's my point. So don't go crying, don't be crying about all the stuff that I'm not saying person has a right to do things to you, but when you put yourself in positions as well, you have to take some responsibility of it.
And thinking that
That's true. That's
you
true.
are
I
going to
agree
be
with that.
strong enough to get out of it. And I think I want to put that caveat on
Yes,
it
yes,
because
yes.
oftentimes folks go into these things and say, "Oh, but child, if you don't do this, then I'm just gonna leave and I'm gonna be good," you know.
Right, right,
Because now you trying to sit there and set up like you are strong enough to get out of it. When
right,
there are certain times of the day, honey. It wasn't 3 o'clock in the afternoon, honey, when everybody's up and about, lively, this, that, and the other. The housekeeper gonna come knocking on the door. The room service is still up. It wasn't one of those kind of things, honey.
right,
It is late night. It's after the club. Everybody done been whatever. He at 3 o'clock in the morning. If you just getting in, honey, you going to shower to go to bed. You done already ate. You ain't finna call nothing to eat. What?
Right.
Okay. What?
And then the whole thing about getting halfway in the mood and doing stuff, and then all of a sudden being like, "Don't touch me no more."
Right.
I mean, as a woman, I know that's like, yes, you would expect the person to say stop, quit, and they do it. But on the reality side of that is, you shouldn't put nobody in that position. Period.
In that position, honey. No.
And so I would trust my daughter, and I would say, baby, if they did this to you, they're wrong, yes. But I would also chastise my daughter and say, what the hell was you doing there
at that time? And see, here's the thing, because see, passion turns into rage real quickly. Because if he doesn't hurt you by raping you and taking it, then he gets aggressive and throw your ass out, maybe knock you and slap you for turning him on, and grab you and throw you out the damn room. You know, call you a bunch
and
of
then
names.
you be mad about that.
And now you mad, telling me something. Oh my God, what? You know, create this whole big old scene. You know, because I've seen that I work in a hotel. I've seen that. Okay, now you know, girl or boy. Okay. You know, so yeah. Well, I read up on the buck breaking thing to prepare my.
It was about humiliation.
It's barely about sex. I think it's humiliation, intimidation, degrading, control, using sex as a tool with a small number of men who did it for the sexual pleasure. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly
for T, sister. Yeah. I can't agree.
Right.
Okay. So yeah, so on that, honey, that there is of that. So listen,
Amy, I still have love for you, honey.
Yeah, I understand it, baby, because of what you've gone through, and I will never take that from you. I will never, because that's real for you. That's real, and I know what that is, to not have somebody believe what the hell I'm saying, you know. And I'm trying to tell you, this motherfucker was wrong, and you don't hear me. Then yeah, it's going to keep your spidey senses are always going to be tingling. So baby, I got you. I got
Maybe that's why they call it all hours of the night. From like in an apartment, I live in an apartment, so like from 11 o'clock p.m. to 7 o'clock to 6:59 a.m. is odd hours of the night, and usually that's when booty calls at night happen.
Yes,
from 11 o'clock p.m.
Listen,
to 6:59 a.m.
Yep.
Unless you're sitting up there working, and the third shift is this: you either work at 7 to 3, 3 to 11, 11 to 7, or you're working 12 to 8, 8 to 4, 4 to 12. Okay, those are usually the hours. Okay. Anything moving after midnight, either you coming in from work because you had to travel to get home, okay, or you done came over because you on a booty call. Anything after midnight, honey, because no, okay.
And I want to, and that's what I really want to get Amy to. It's not that I don't agree with what you're talking about, because I really do. Like I said, I've been there, but at the same time, I'm just going to speak for myself as an older woman that have been through certain things. I would be remiss to make a person feel like that you should just put yourself in positions and expect that man or that woman or whoever it is, that, because we can't say it's only men, but to have that person do things to you that really you could have avoided had you not gone in those positions. It's not that I'm blaming the woman, but I'm saying we have to take some accountability for our actions. And I'm not telling you something that I would not tell my own daughter or my own children, my own children in general, because I do understand the pain that you go through. I understand it. And I wouldn't want any man to take or any woman to do my children that way. So I don't want anybody, but at the same time, I also have to be forward about that, because if we learn to have our boundaries set and have some boundaries in it all, we won't get in some of the positions that we do get in. I was in the military. I've been through a whole lot. with people that were in charge of me. I was a specialist with an E7 trying to talk to me, a sergeant major that tried to do something to me. Okay, so I understand all of that. And there's a difference between going to work and you're working in an environment and you're supposed to be safe in that environment. But had I been going over to my sergeant major's house, then I would have been the one that would have been in a
Right,
problem
right,
more, because
right,
I have no business going over there. So you see that in the military all the time. But even in that, there's the right thing and then there's the wrong thing. And
right,
as when I became an NCO, I knew certain people was off guards. And if you overstep those boundaries, that's where the problem lies.
right, right. She says, I see the logical side of it for trying to avoid the situation. Yeah,
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
yeah.
ma'am.
That is that
And that's all we're saying. That's all we're saying. Yes.
You know, because a lot of folks want to use this example all the time. A woman should be able, hell, if I walk down the street butt ball naked, that don't give you the right to touch me. You're
Right.
right. You're
You're right.
absolutely right. However, if I know you walking down the street butt ball naked, you know the kind of attention you're going to get. That's a no-brainer.
That's a no-brainer.
That's a
That's a
no-brainer.
no-brainer. You can't get mad at the man that whistles
Get
at you.
mad because they catcalling
Can't
or
call you and whistle at
whatever,
you.
or
Right.
telling you they want to touch you because you know that that's what's going to happen. Okay, and that's what it is. There is what it is. Okay, you wear a tight skirt to show how big your fat ass is.
Amen.
When somebody whistle how big your ass is, don't get mad because they say you got a fat ass. You got all this damn form-fitting skirt to show it. And you wore it purposely for it to be shown. Okay, so that there is where it is. Now, do they have a right to accost you? Hell no, they shouldn't. Okay, and no, they don't have a right to do it. Okay, however, let's not be naive in saying that because I did this, I know they better not. Really,
Right.
that's true.
really, no.
Amen.
So on that note, my darling, let's get ready to let you guys
Because
go.
that's the same thing as if we tell our because I was gonna say that's the same thing as if you tell your kids, your son or somebody, don't go out in the street and pulling guns on nobody because there's a possibility you're gonna get shot. That
Right.
doesn't give the person the right to shoot you, but hell, if you out there gangbanging, that's a possibility it's happening.
Hello, the consequences of okay.
Like y'all said, at a certain time, and a certain time of the night, certain time in the morning, you're looking for trouble.
Okay, and even if you're not, trouble gonna find you because trouble is
Exactly.
trouble hours. Well, hell, I was
Exactly.
actually harassed by one guy I served with a couple of times until I put him in his place. But then I became the bad guy. Boys would be boys my ass. Exactly. Okay. It's
Exactly.
just that
On that
glamorizing
note, I understand that too,
behavior, that
Ingram.
money. You're right, Amy. Yeah. She said it's just more that glamorizing
Yeah.
language and behavior that muddies the water. Exactly. Exactly.
Amen. Amen. Exactly.
Exactly.
All right, good people.
All right,
Love
good
you
night,
guys.
everybody. Let me let you guys go,
Good
honey,
night.
because this has been a wonderful show. We're gonna try to stream tomorrow. If you can't, I just want folks to see this thing, so I may do this a couple times this week. I don't know. I'm gonna let y'all know because I really would, since I bought it and carrying on, I would rather let it utilize the stream and things and carrying on. I'm gonna see if I could share the stream and if I could share the actual video with you guys, the link to it. If I could share my link to it, I'm gonna send it, okay, and let you guys watch it from my account.
It has been a pleasure meeting you, Dr. Evangelist Marla Facey. And it was an honor to
Thank
have
you.
you
God
and
bless
talk
you.
with you. And I am a student. You see what I'm saying today? And I appreciate every single thing. And I'm your student. And I do appreciate that. I appreciate everything, your feedback, your input. Everything you said was top notch. And I do appreciate it so much. You don't know how much of an impact you had on me just this show.
Praise
And Uncle
the Lord.
Meech, you're always
Praise the Lord.
there. You're always there. Uncle
Okay, well, we
I
appreciate that
appreciate you so
greatly,
much.
honey.
We do appreciate you too, Ezra. God bless you.
My darlings, honey,
Bless
you
you
may
too.
finish all of your crumpets because the tea has been dished and you've been dishing tea, darlings. With Big Meech and the big guy Ally popped in for a minute, big red fella. Okay, special thanks to our guest, Miss Jason A, honey. And in the absence of Aunt Nikki, honey, we had the Dr. Evangelist, Marla Facey here. And also my nephew over here, Mr. Israel, that showed up in here to share some light and to get you guys up until the next time, honey. Now tomorrow being Sunday, y'all know what it is that I said what I said Sunday. Okay.
You look tired, Unc. You look
Huh?
tired.
Do
You
I?
look tired.
You know what? Because I done watched this movie twice
He is
and I
tired.
shut
It's
down my
3 in the morning.
cry. And I'm gonna tell y'all, I've been drinking, honey. I have a little cocktail. So she's starting to work on me. She's starting to work on me just a little bit, honey. So I'm gonna go get me some water and things of
Guess
that
what?
nature to hydrate. And then we'll be
Guess what?
what?
My tablet didn't overheat this time.
How about that?
It didn't overheat
Look
this
at
time.
God.
Well, that's because you need to be here.
Look at God.
So with
Look
that
at
being
God.
said, honey, you may I
Amen.
said out your crumpets, honey. If you love us, tell a friend, honey. If you hate us, tell all of your enemies, child. But do know this. One way, shape, style, form, or fashion, honey, everything that we're doing over here will move forward. So until the next time, my darlings, honey, get some rest, stay safe, do what you need to do to protect you. There's only one of you, honey, until you have to go home. Okay? So on that note, honey, and ooh, sing.